What's going on, guys? It's Jordan here again from the Undergraduate Survival Guide podcast. Today we have a good friend of mine. This is someone who you're obviously closer to Brian than me, and I see you a lot through Brian, but it's nice to have you on, Addy.
Thank you, thank you. I heard the podcast between you and Brian, and I really enjoyed it. So I just thought, why not have a go? Because I have a few things I'd want to say as well. Just in terms of my experiences and what I've been through with uni. But I think what you're doing with the undergraduate podcast is really great, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people to actually understand the truth behind uni.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
that. What was your favorite part of Brian's one?
With Brian's one, I loved how you guys just kind of talked about, what uni really is and how he kind of had to really look at himself in the mirror and just realize that there were some things that he could do better. And with, uh, with last year in particular, with him having to resit and everything, I thought it was really good to hear that because a lot of people won't be that honest about it, but there's a lot of people in that situation as well.
Yeah, definitely. How have you found your uni experience?
I'm gonna be honest, I think university for me has been so crazy, man. It's not been straightforward at all. It's not. It's actually not been straightforward because I think there's so many aspects that go into it in terms of like, okay, obviously the social side of it where you meet people and you go to as many parties like as you can, maybe first year, and then you have to try and really get to grips with your course as well. But I think there's also a financial side of it too that, it doesn't really come into play until like you actually deep it and you actually sit down, look at your finances and be like, okay, wow, like this is not only costing me a certain amount, now, but in the future as well, like there's going to be costs and repercussions to pay. But it kind of just, it's felt like a bubble that I've just had to live in and just try to like surround myself around it, really, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like the London, because you always study in London, that
Mm.
is a big bubble to
Oh
be in.
my gosh. Yeah, because I think for most people it's two things. Number one is just kind of being somewhere where it's always been your cities where you've grown up, so it's not really that different. Um, but also as well, I think there's aspects of living at home. So sometimes uni kind of feels like school rather than actual university.
Mm,
But
mm.
I actually took it upon myself to move into accommodation this year, seeing as it's my final year, to try and get the taste of it.
How come you didn't, stay in Accom for the first 2 years? Just financial.
Um, Financial and be honest, my parents played a big part in that. So they didn't really want me to kind of go out like that, go out there and just to spend like that. They were just saying, you go into your final year, have somewhere where you can be, because it's going to be more important for you to have your independence than in first year.
Mm.
Um, Now that I look back on it, I don't know, would I have done things a bit differently? Maybe, but I'm happy it's turned out how it's turned out anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was always reluctant to stay in London purely because wouldn't be able to leave.
That's the thing. That's the thing. But I've been lucky as well because my parents have been pretty chill about it. So it's like there are times where obviously I'd come down to Bristol to see you guys and Brian, maybe go up to Manny, to see my girlfriend and a few other friends as well. Like I've been all around the UK, so I've been quite lucky with that. I think if my parents weren't so chill, then it would have been a lot harder. Because I mean, I'd still feel like I can go anywhere in a
Mm.
way. Yeah. But then you also, you know what it is? I can't really explain it. There are times where you get in and it's calm and your parents are like, it's chill. But there are also times where you get in and it still kind of feels like, hey, you're supposed to be back by a certain time. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they just switch. They kind of just switch off when they want to have their curfew or not. It's a bit mad, but what can you do?
Yeah, I hear that. To be
Yeah, yeah.
fair, like, that's an interesting point because all through school I was always lying to my parents, even like subconsciously. If I was, I don't know, after school I was doing homework, I'll say, oh, I was at a friend's house, just like, because I didn't want to tell the truth. Because I'm just
Oh
scared of getting
yeah.
in trouble. I feel like you mature a lot quicker when you have to be a man at home.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you learn more about how to manage your time because I think uni really taught me that your time is really what you make of it. And you can spend it doing whatever you want, but you have to really manage that and rise above it. And I think only now I'm really truly seeing, how much of a challenge it was initially to kind of be independent. Um, and like just take control of your own learning. Because teachers used to say that to me, like what you do at home is really important. Make sure you have enough time to do other things as well, so that you have time to do your work. But I'm kind of seeing that now, definitely.
Mm, mm.
But before it was all bullshit, to be honest. But now it's not really that much bullshit anymore, so it's nice.
Yeah, I get. You're the oldest, right?
Nah, I'm the middle child. Shout out J.
Okay,
Cole.
mad. Older brother,
Two of them.
mad. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's different. It's different, isn't it? But it is what it is.
Mm. But then, I mean, I'm the oldest, so I can't really relate. But I've always felt like I had a lot of pressure, family-wise, to help out at home because the younger ones can't
Yeah,
work yet.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. I feel that exact same pressure over here. And I think that's kind of that's what makes uni a big part of that pressure as well. Because when you put those two things in tandem, it's like, all right, you have an ultimate goal, right?
Mhm.
To just do your thing and help out at home, in the future as well. But then it's also like, okay, I've got to make sure I smash uni and do as well as I can to be able to have the means to do that or find something that would give me the means to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And even just now, like, or throughout the years anyway, when I've had like my own and stuff, like I'm not afraid to say that, yeah, I've been able to help out at home and like just helping my mum, my dad obviously when they need it. So, it
Mm.
is what it is. Most of my friends, when I actually told them, like, they're like, what? You, what are you doing? Like, how are you, sending so and so to your mum and dad? Like, it's your money, keep it. But it's different, you know, growing
Yeah.
up in an Afro-Caribbean household, it's just different, some people just won't understand.
Word. I,
Yeah.
I went through all of last year saying, "Oh, I'm broke, I can't afford anything," and then February time, I think, I dropped 6K to like fix my parents' bathroom. And friends are like, "Oh, where's this money come from?" Like to me, there's home money, then there's like going out money. There's two different bank accounts.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. They must have been grateful though.
All right. Next question is,
Oh, oh wow. You know what it is? I think sometimes it's a surprise, but other times it's like, well, we expected it. We put all of this into you, so you should really be giving back.
literally.
Yeah, those what I say. Oh man. Oh,
Uh, but
yeah.
then I do feel like all sorts of parents have a different way of showing love and showing thanks. Like my mum sort of type to buy me something when she's proud of me. She was just like, I don't know, cook extra nice one day and not say anything.
Mhm. The words I'm proud of you, the words I love you, the words that I'm really happy for you, the words you're a great example to your siblings. Nah, no, 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 no. It's just it's well done. Well done is like the highest of the highest you can get. If you get a well done, you really did well. You know what I mean?
Literally,
And then
literally.
that will probably come on the sides of, obviously you get your meal, you don't have to do chores or whatever. They just let you sleep on one time. But it all goes up to normal the week after, so it is what it is.
Old, old.
Yeah.
I think the first time I really knew my parents were proud was when, I think it was my little brother's communion or something. And
Oh,
obviously my
really?
parents invited all their friends and they're like, "Oh, you're Jordan, right? You're the oldest one." And they started saying these great things I'd done. I'm like, okay. He
Oh
puts it
man.
all in the group chats, just not to me.
Oh,
But
those ones, those ones. Speaking of which, I'm sure it must have been a lot. They must have been really happy when you actually got your place at University of Bristol, right? Considering how like great of a uni it is, Russell Group, all of that stuff.
not really actually. It's
Mm.
interesting because like my parents didn't go to uni. They barely even did A levels. So it's like they don't really appreciate the full education system like that. I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys, but
Mm.
yeah, unless I'm bringing home the bread, like they don't really get it.
Ah, I heard that. I think with my parents, I think they're the same, but I think they've also kind of realized, okay, your child needs to be going to uni to be able to bring home the bread. Not only do they need to be going to uni, it helps their employability prospects if they're going to a uni that is considered good in some sense. So then if they want, if you want if they want you to bring home the bread, they also want you to bring home the best type of bread. So the best bread will come if you go to the best type of unis, etc., etc. Then you have that whole, okay, what are the best unis? Then you look into it, it's called the Rust Group, and before you know it, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, if you break it down like that, yeah, but some parents have time. My parents had time, so my mum knew what Rust Group really was before I did, so I was like, well, okay. Yeah.
No, I hear that. My parents knew Oxford and Cambridge, and
Oh yeah. Oh, everyone knows Oxford Cambridge. Come on. Yeah,
literally, that's
definitely.
about it. I think my parents still think I study physics instead of engineering, so.
Oh man. Oh boy. You know what? I don't think I can tell the difference. As long as it's got numbers, as long as it's a STEM, as long as it says the words BSc, it's all good. Oh boy. It's true. It's true. I don't think they really know, but it's just like, okay, if it's got numbers in it, we're all good. It's gonna make us.
As soon as I told them, yeah, I'm applying to banks, they're like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's good enough for us.
yeah. I mean, if you told them that you wanted to start a podcast or a media company now, or you want to maybe record some music, they'd be like, okay. I mean, that's when they'd sit down and have a chat and they'd be like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you really sure?
Them ones.
They mean well though. Our parents, they mean very well. You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
just want to see us do well, and they want to see us be an example to like our young siblings and stuff, and also like have the things that they could never have.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was
Interestingly
having
enough.
a chat the other day on the same subject, and I think it's a thing where parents only really know what they know. So when it comes to like starting a podcast, they don't understand the financials of that, so it's hard to back it.
Mm.
It's a thing where I got to wait 3 years till I get like 2 listeners, and they'd be like, "Oh, mom, look, people care."
Yeah, I mean, they can see that. If they see it's something that builds traction, yeah, but they will usually be one of the first people to kind of, you know, question you and maybe even doubt you because, like, not that they don't believe in you, but, you know, they kind of want to see results. So it's because results is what guarantees success in a way. So if they don't
Mm.
really see it, it's going to be hard to justify it in their minds. But, you know, you have their support in you know, in many ways. You just don't know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
To,
true.
to kind of build that podcast or to do it must have been something that's not exactly straightforward. But yeah, it's good that you're doing it, man.
I appreciate that, man. Wait, so you're graduating this year.
Yes, I am.
How are you
Yes.
getting the bread?
Um, so so hopefully I do well enough to graduate with a certain grade, and then I would sign on to a grad scheme with Schroders Investment Management, if you heard of them.
Yum.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I'd be
Fantastic
working.
salary.
Oh yeah, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. Oh boy. Yeah. But yeah, I'd be with Schroders Investment Management and I'd be signing on into their portfolio solutions department. Um, and yeah, be on a few years and then hopefully get rotated into something more entry level, more full time, and then yeah.
That's cold, man. Early
Yeah.
congrats.
Thank you. It was Brian's idea. It was all him. It was him. I don't know. That guy just has like a crazy way, man.
He literally has like a handful of career plans, just hands out to his friends. Like, yeah, apply to this, apply to that, apply to that.
Yeah. Oh, that's Brian for you. That's Brian for you. He's very, very in the know of things, but also it's very inspiring because he's the type of person where if he sees something, he sees that it's good, and it's interesting for him. He's the type of person to tell other people, and he really shares that type of knowledge. It's quite rare to have that.
Yeah, that's true. Brian's not one of those guys that will revise and tell you he didn't. He's very he'll give you his notes.
Yeah, no, he's one of those guys. Those people at uni that you see them, they'll have their notes and whatever, and they've been to lectures and you need help, but they're just stingy for no reason. It's like, who asked you?
Mm, mm.
But Brian's not like that. Is a nice guy. Very, 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 very cool guy. And in terms of everything, career advice, life advice, like he's great, man.
Trust me, man. Shout out, Brian.
Shout out Brian. Shout out Big Kwong. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Underscore.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of banks, what was your what were you applying to before this whole pandemic?
So I'm still in second year, 4-year course.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm only eligible for the spring weeks for banks.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I could apply to some internships in engineering, but I guess my skill set as far as recruiters are concerned is a lot more finance focused. So yeah, mostly banks at the moment.
Okay. That's all
I
good.
actually just did a virtual spring for Bank of America.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Yeah, yeah. Which department, man?
Tech.
Tech, nice. Nice, nice. So was it more so with solutions or with change? Because I know a lot in banks especially, they work a lot with change management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For Bank of America, because obviously it was virtual, it wasn't majorly comprehensive. So they just talked about the 3 different lines within tech. So for BAMA, it's like global banking and markets, infrastructure and securities. And it was very much just talking us through everything. So I'm not really pursuing a specific line at the moment. It's just, yeah, that's kind of all I can say, given the contract and everything.
I mean, that's all good. That's all good. Yeah. Don't tell, Yeah. Yeah. How have you found if you were applying now, how do you think you kind of get ahead or at least try and find something? Because in this climate, man, I'm telling you, it's very crazy. It's very crazy.
For me, I learned, I guess, last year that the hardest part, outside of applications, is just being confident in yourself.
Mm.
Especially for me, because I don't do economics. I know a lot of people obviously don't either, but I was always going, I don't know enough technicals. I don't know what IBD means. I'm going to fail. And when you come in with that mindset, you kind of already flop.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you do.
Yeah, just being more confident was probably my biggest help. But other than that, being prepped for applications. So just having generic answers prepared to just change a few things.
It's important. It's important. And I find that that's really helped me, because when you kind of prepare for these things, you kind of almost sit yourself down in a situation and your mind is already there. Your mind is already in the interview, in the, application process. It's just physically. You just need to get it physically when you're actually speaking. And it helps to, be prepared for these things because you don't really know. Not necessarily that you don't really know what they could ask you, but you don't really know how you're going to sound in that way, just off the cuff or being spontaneous. So it's always good to prepare your answers and to rehearse things beforehand as you go along. And obviously, I think it just helps more with how you're feeling when you're doing it. Because I don't know about you, but after having done so many interviews and whatnot, I still find it quite nerve-wracking sometimes when I'm doing maybe high view interviews or I'm doing phone interviews or stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's always good to rehearse for those things.
I think video and telephone are the worst because
tell me about
you
it.
never know what to do.
Tell me about it. Oh my goodness me. The video, videos versus telephone. I think telephone ones are the ones that annoy me the most because you can't really tell you can't see the person's facial expressions. You can't see what they're thinking, but also as well, like it just, everything just sounds the same. Like, in how in a physical interview, you might be able to see what it's like. Maybe the interviewer is giving you cues, by their facial expressions or with their hand gestures or, you know, the way you present yourself has an impact on the way they may see you. Like over the phone, it's just completely like it's all gone that way.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I do think, I mean, the only advantage to on phone is obviously they can't see you, so you can, but other than that, it's a free for all, man. I hate it so much.
Yeah. No, I hate it as well. I hate it as well. I hate
Video, like, at least you can, because you're not talking to anyone, you just wing it. Like, you can't be scared of talking to yourself. And I mean, I guess it's different because I'm used to being on camera, but you just prep 3 minutes, talk say your piece and you go. But I just hate on the phone when they're silent. Like you finish answering the question and then you hold and they just don't say anything.
Oh my God, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Oh my goodness. It's just like, why are you holding? Like, you're taking up all of my credit just for you to potentially even turn around and tell me thank you, but no thanks. No, man.
It's mad.
Yeah, it is mad. But what can you do? You have to, I think these processes we have to kind of all go through.
Mm.
Um, I know that, personally, there's a lot of my friends, one in particular that, go through the process and there's you get a lot of, okay, everyone else is doing quite well, with these interviews and I'm just still here just really trying and I'm not really getting anywhere and I'm starting to feel a little bit resentful towards some of my other friends that may have roles and offers. But really and truly, I think it's a numbers game and it's really the law of averages. The more you do, and the more experience you have, eventually, like, you create your own luck and you create your own breakthroughs. And it happens when you least expect it. That's the biggest thing that I've realized with it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Mm.
I literally I applied to BAML first for these springs and
Mm.
they got back to me last.
Oh, wow.
Like I had like 20 rejections in the line. I'm like, you know what? It's too late. It was probably like late January as well, so I assumed it was over. And then early Feb, BAM will say, yeah, you got it.
Oh,
It's out of nowhere.
amazing. 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 Wow.
Yeah, it really is like, you
Yeah.
never know when it's going to come through, but
No, it usually does when you just keep plugging away. I think, um, as well, like, you have to always, it's taught me as well, you have to always be on the go, always be on your toes and just be ready for whatever comes because you never know what's going to come. Never know at all.
literally, man. Would you
Yeah.
say you knew what you were doing when you started?
When I nope, had no clue. No clue. I didn't. I just kind of was just like, okay, this looks cool. And then obviously just as everyone else would, when they first start, it's like, I have no idea about this. You feel dumb for a very long time. And then you actually, after some experience and after maybe going through some interviews or reading up on some job roles, like, you actually know a little bit more about these things than you originally did. And that's always good
Mm.
because it shows that you've learned something, shows you're getting somewhere. Um, and it shows that you can learn up about these things and you can test yourself as well, when it comes to these roles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
And I guess people always talk about like showing your interest, being passionate, all these things. That's what really gets you the role, as opposed to like just being super smart.
Oh, definitely. 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 I think more times than not, that is what makes the employer say, yeah, we'd like to have you. We'd really like to have you. Just showing that you're an interesting person and that you have your hobbies and you have your quirks about you, then rather than someone who just seems like they were born for the role or they live, eat and breathe the role, like almost as if they were just born one day and then they just decided their destiny from then and there and they wanted to do it since they were kids. Nah, it doesn't work like that.
Trust me.
Yeah,
Would you
doesn't.
say like, because people always say, you kind of know when you come out of the interview whether you have it or not. Would you say there was like a defining moment of shoulders where you're just like, yeah, I've got it?
Defining moment. I don't really, I can't really say if it was a defining moment looking back at it because obviously I didn't know, but I
Mm.
did feel like it tipped the iceberg a little bit. Um, I mean, this was during the assessment center. As you'll know, you usually have like an assessment center for most jobs and financials or most graduate schemes before they may offer you the role. This was right at the end where we'd just gone through everything. I'd just gone through the case study, sorry. Um, and I was speaking with one of the guys that was there. And we we had a conversation, a longer conversation than I would have liked, but um, I think I could just tell that he was interested in me and that I guess he liked me for who I was. Um, and that was different as opposed to maybe I said something that would have really blown him away or showed good technical knowledge. I think it was more so that affinity that he had towards me, but also that affinity I had towards him. I think we connected um, just about a lot of things, really, and just kind of showing that it just kind of showed him that I was a person that I guess he could get along with more than anything. Um,
Mm.
and I wouldn't have known that beforehand because going into the assessment center. Um, I was just looking to kind of do as well as I could, but also just keep it chill and keep it simple, not do anything too crazy that would make myself out to just seem like a know-it-all or a show-off. Um, but yeah, I think having that as well really helped me because my interview beforehand, I wasn't really too sure if it went that well. Um, but then speaking to the guy, I think he just wanted to know as much about me as possible. In the weirdest way, I think he said to me that he could see himself in me because I was really, really lucky to have actually had him for the case study. He knows what it's like coming from the background I came from, um, you know, living, living in certain conditions and, um, not really having the same lifestyle that he would have had as some of his work colleagues. Um, So I think that he saw a lot of that in me, and that's why he put me forward for the role. I don't know any other reason, but I think that affinity plays a really big part in it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I get that.
yeah,
Because I've always been told like, it's not necessarily how good you are overall, but if you can, like sometimes it's that one person that puts a good word in and that's like the difference between whether you get it or not. And
oh yeah.
that's a crazy story to back that up.
Oh, that's the craziest, the craziest. Because you never know. Opinions nowadays they mean nothing, but they mean everything at the same time.
Mm.
Because, someone can tell you, oh, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm just going to do me. Just unapologetically be yourself. But you also have to look out for when people take notice of you and when they're really observing you and they're really trying to see, okay, should we give this person a chance? Why should we give this person a chance? And uh, I think assessment centers, amongst other things as well, really give people the chance to do that. Um, but I was really lucky as well because beforehand, I don't know if Brian would have told you, but there was I think there was a fast track event. Yeah, there was a fast track event that would have happened beforehand.
Okay.
It happened beforehand, sorry. And I was quite lucky to have signed up and attended because, uh, straight away, I think I took a liking to some of these people that were there beforehand. I knew who they were. I was already able to put faces to names by the time I got into the assessment center because we'd spent so much time talking in the, um, in the fast track event, that we just knew each other straight away. And it seemed a lot more, things seemed a lot more familiar. So I was quite lucky in that regard.
That's good. I've got a lot of friends who say they went to like a fast track event or just even a regular networking event, and that was, making that one connection there just making so much easier.
Yeah, it does because I think when you're really in it, um, there will be a lot of people that are cool that you can get on with that are in the candidate pool as you are, um, but there's also going to be some people that they'll be very focused, and I think the social aspect of things won't really click in their heads. So they're not really the type of person to maybe ask you how you're doing and whatnot. They'll just be very focused on trying to do as well as they can in their tasks and to try and essentially, beat you out of the role and get the role themselves. Yeah. So and that could be very daunting at times because I think you can just watch by people's body languages. Maybe it's just the things they're doing. You see this guy's probably on his phone or he might just be, having certain type of conversation with somebody. Might come from a very finance heavy background, very technical background where, they're not really looking to have a sing and dance without you, a sing and dance with you or chat. Like, they're looking to get the role. They're hungry for it. They're ready for it. But, it's nice to have that connection outside of the candidate pool that you can talk to, because it kind of, calms you and reassures you that, you're meant to be there. And also as well, that you can have normal conversations with people because there are a lot of people when you get to the assessment center that you cannot have normal conversations with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Think my feedback from one of my ACs was that like the only reason why I didn't take me is because my technicals were a bit not as good as everyone else's, but I got crazy good feedback for like talking to people, just smiling. They were saying that some candidates were just sitting there looking stressed, like.
No,
And I
never
feel
me.
bad because it's a hard situation to be in.
Never me, man. Never me. Never me. And it's crazy because, I'll be honest, I did used to be that person. I did used to be that person where it's just like, I want the role, I want to do this, I want to do that, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. And obviously I made sure that I'd try and make sure that I had good technicals. Not crazy good, but at least good technical knowledge. So that if they were going to ask me maybe about the share prices or ask me about, maybe certain assets and, what I would do, yeah, in certain situations, I would be ready for it. But I think sometimes as well, it depends what type of person you are. But for me anyway, I didn't really respond too well to that. Cause I would feel sometimes maybe I'm overloading myself a little bit and I'm not really being who I am. And I find that I'm not like extra talkative, but I would say that I'm quite a sociable person. So it really helps me when I speak to people and get to know people. Um, I think that really helps more than anything. Rather than just being some loner or someone that's just going to sit in a corner by himself, just preparing his next answers. I feel sorry for people like that though. I really do.
Trust me.
Yeah. Just be honest.
Because I remember the guy vividly that they were referring to, what I assumed they were referring to. And it was a guy where I went to him during the break. I'm like, how do you find the first session? He's like, oh, I'm just preparing my notes for the next one. I'll talk to you afterwards. And I'm like,
Oh,
mate.
wow. You know those people. And it's just like, why so serious? Oh man. You know what it is? If it's for an entry level job, right? I'm sure this is not even the case for an entry level job. I understand, but like, yo, bro, it's an internship. This is
The
an
spring
internship.
even, like.
The spring. Like, this is the thing that people don't get. These are not, obviously, if you do well enough, these could potentially be the start of your career and it could propel you into something full time or something close to full time, like a grad. But this is not a job. Like, yes, they're going to pay you enough money in one go, but you're only going to be there for a certain period of time. You can't be thinking, okay, this is absolutely everything. Like, I'm just gonna obviously put your all into it, but some people really take it seriously, more serious than they really should. And I think it shows in the way they are with people and, the things that they'll say in the interviews and whatnot. It will show.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's true.
I think I can't really speak for employers because, employers, those type of people as well. Some employers hire them, some employers don't. Um, but you find as well, like, just that inability to actually have conversation and to interact with people, it does hold them back. It holds them back quite a bit.
Mm.
So, you as much as important to have that knowledge and to have that drive and be very focused, you have to also remember, like, you're human. Allow yourself to be human.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
And plus, like, the network you make, even at just the AC level, like, the people you meet there are gonna go on to do crazy things.
oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's the beautiful thing. I actually did an assessment center for a role at Apple, and this is a retail role, by the way.
Mad.
It's not even like, not even financial or anything like that, but you meet people from all different backgrounds. And, like, I know one person that was applying for the same role as me. He's a dancer for, he, he was part of a dance troupe that used to dance with, big dance groups, such as the Jabberwockies. Um, and one other person that they did the podcast and they ended up getting featured uh, on a big, YouTuber's channel or big social media personality. I know someone that applied for a role that they're literally Instagram famous.
Jeez.
Yeah. So all of these people in the same assessment, like, it's crazy. But you know that everyone there has the potential to do something great. That's
Mm.
something doesn't have to be the job role, but something great.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
Like,
think, yeah,
oh, go on.
yeah, I think it's really changed the way that I see assessment centers as a whole. Because before you would see it as a way to obviously do as well as you can and get the role, and that should be the main thing. But also as well, I think it's kind of a missed opportunity if you go to an assessment center and you don't meet somebody cool, or you don't meet someone that um you know you could at least connect with in some way. Because I think you really miss out on that.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. And even if it's, I mean, I've always seen it before, like, the people I know and me myself as well, I'm very proactive. And obviously you, Brian, you lot are the same, but anyone that even applies for a job in the first place, at some point, they've got some sort of drive that might not come to fruition right there, might not come to fruition in a year's time, but you know that some of these people are eventually going to do bits. And even going back to what we said before, like, being able to talk to people, as like a minimum lesson you get from doing these ACs, that you get to talk to more people and learn how to communicate with, like, some mega rich guy that you might not ever see again, or, like you said, a dancer or something. Yeah, the types of people you meet. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, you never know. You never know who you meet as well. You never know what type of person you actually cross paths with, because you know that person could be the next big thing, and they're right on your palms before they turn into that. So, not to say you want a piece of that, but obviously you want to, learn as much as you can from them and even help them in some senses. Um,
Mm.
but even as well, like, just if you're going somewhere and you find someone that you connect with, like, it's a waste opportunity to not at least try and connect with them further, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Every time I always speak with someone, and we really get on well. Um, if they're not doing anything afterwards or we go our separate ways, we'll always try to, you know, give the usual, hey, add you on LinkedIn, or hey, I'll add you on WhatsApp or Snapchat or Instagram, or hey, if you're in town or if you're in London or wherever, the following week or whenever you come here, like, hit me up and I'll do my best to meet up and whatnot, just to try my best to stay in contact and keep people in the loop, you know.
Mm.
But I also understand not everybody's like that, you know. But personally, anyway, I just think there's more you can do if you are. But
Yeah, for sure. Because I was gonna say as well, like, I see myself as somewhat outgoing, but
Mm.
I see some extroverts that are like, it's like a day job replying to like 20 messages a day. Like, I could never.
Oh my God, you know what? There are if there some people that will be listening to this now, I might not have replied to you, and if you hear this, I'm so sorry. I'm very, 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 very sorry because, man, oh, just, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do it, but just replying like and stuff, I still find that really hard. I'm going to openly admit that.
Yep.
Just replying to people and stuff. I think it's just like, obviously I can have the drive to do things, but to be proactive like that, be on the go, on job, on job, on job, like those people are different animals, man. People are
For
different
real.
animals, you know.
For real, man. 'Cause, like for me, I like to think I reply to everyone, but it's a thing where it might take me like 4 days to hit you back because I want to give you a proper response instead of like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
I don't know, man. Some of my boys, I was driving someone the other day to Costco, and they must have sent like 20 messages in the 10-minute spell it took me to get from their place to to
Oh
the
my
shop.
god.
I'm like, can I just drive?
Yeah.
I handed you the ox, and all I hear is ding, ding, ding. Like, allow
Oh,
him.
exactly. It's like, fam, have you seen?
Nah, it's crazy,
Oh
man.
man, I
I
think
want
some.
to go back.
Yeah,
I'll go on, 'cause I'm gonna change it up after this.
yeah. What? No, what were you saying? I think I think it might have cut off or something.
Oh, no, I was gonna say like, 'cause before you mentioned how you're starting to hold certain resentments to some of your friends that were getting ACs and stuff, and while you weren't. I was gonna say on that topic, how do you maintain your friendships, especially when they go sour or like start to become difficult?
Hmm. That's a good question. That's a good ass question. Um, I think you naturally have to have been in a place beforehand where you could always be happy for them no matter what, and that you didn't see them as like your competitors. Because obviously they may be competing for, you'll be competing for the same roles that they are, but ultimately it shouldn't change the fact that they are your friends. They are people that you speak to most days, if not every day, and that you get along with. Um, so you have to always try and come from a place where even if you are doing well, even if you're not doing well, you can always say congratulations, or you can always say, oh, I'm happy for you. Um, I think more importantly, you have to kind of be able to be happy, with where you're going in your life, and just trusting that, like, there is a plan and it is going to happen for you. Because if, for me anyway, when I was kind of going through that, I did maybe hold some resentments to my friends, but I didn't really have, I didn't never really showed it because obviously, like, not many people would, but I did kind of struggle to believe at times that okay, it was going to happen for me, or I did find that I was quite unhappy with maybe where I was going and whatnot, but um, I had to kind of realize that this is life. Everyone goes through this. Everyone's going to be at a stage at some point where they're not going to be happy. But it's really how you bounce back from it, how you re-strategize, and how you're able to um, think things in your mind to be able to say at the end of the day, hey, things aren't going the way I'd like it to go now, but I'm going to have a plan B. I'm going to be able to bounce back and I can reconvene and pick myself up after, and I'll be cool with whatever happens.
Mm,
Yeah.
I get that. That's good.
Yeah. Cause, I think as well, it's hard when you're going through it. And it's easy to think that people don't understand what you're going through. But if you reach out, um, people tend to get a gist and they tend to sort of get it, you know. And I think it's just finding those people that get it, and that are going to be encouraging for you. But also remembering that your friends want to see you win, because I don't know about you, but I'm sure you wouldn't want to have, a billion and one like offers, at the end of like when you graduate, and then you have your friends still like not in the same place as you. I'm sure, you want to see everyone win.
Mm-mm.
And
Definitely.
yeah, and I think you kind of have to realize as well that they want to see you win too, and they want to see you do well. So, they're going to do their bit, but you also try your best, do your bit, and knowing what at the end of the day, whatever happens, like your friends want the best for you. No one wants to see their friends fail. No way.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and I don't want to reference middle child again, but shout out J. Cole for this one. What's the point sitting first class if your guys can't sit?
It's true. It's true. It's very true. Because it's true, man. Because, you have to, obviously in this life, you can't take everyone with you, but you can lead. You can lead and, you can get your friends to try and follow, and if you're a good influence and they can see you're going places, that's the thing. Um, but yeah, like shout out to my friends for always being there and always wanting to see me win, but also always telling me that they want to see me win because some people just need to hear it.
That's true.
Some people just need to hear it. But yeah.
I was very much like that
Mm,
because I think it must have been first year. I was
mm.
just sad for a good week for no reason. I'm like, oh, no one appreciates me. I could do this, and like all my friends are losers. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? I clocked at one point. Someone said, oh, like it was actually mad. Looking back now, I'm annoyed at myself for thinking that way. But it's like I just needed to hear someone say like, "Oh, you're doing a good job," or "Keep up the good work," or "We appreciate you," or something. And yeah, it's mad how how mental health can just trip you up sometimes just for jokes.
I'm telling you, there are times where I've had to actually look at myself and be like, what's going on? Even this year, and just be like, the devil's a liar, man. Like he's really proper trying it. Um, and I think uni as well has really taught me as well. Mental health is not a joke. And it really can, like you said, trip you up at any time. And it can come through the littlest things. It doesn't have to always be the biggest things through university or through applications or through job roles. It could just be, small things. You might not have enough, enough money to go out with your friends, order that pair of shoes that you wanted, just what tends to happen is that these little things bring you back to the bigger picture and it makes you kind of look at your life as a whole. And when that happens, and you and you realize you're unhappy with it, I think that's what really starts to trigger things.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Cause it's not, I mean, I'm lucky enough to say that, I mean, I've not really had until recently, like I've not really had like many episodes, like or the depressive episodes or like panic attacks, whatever. But it's very easy to see how like it can trip people up, and you have to be sensitive to it, man. You have to be sensitive to it
Mm.
because there's so many people that will look at it and they'll say, "Not me, never me." But you look around and then you turn around the next day, it's them. It really is them. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, have to try and be sensitive to what people's going through. Doesn't mean you have to understand it. It doesn't mean you have to get it, but always just try to be sensitive to what people's going through because you never know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I learned probably from school, to be fair, like primary school, secondary school, even that people never really know the context of what you're going through.
Mm.
But then it took me a while to clock that it's the same thing the other way. Like I don't know what's going on behind closed doors in anyone else's life. Not even your own family. Like you don't even know. And you see your parents, your brother, sister every day, but you don't actually know what their demons are. So
Mm.
yeah, man,
Mm.
it's a big thing to be sensitive to other people's mental because yeah, it's crazy, man.
This is getting deep, man. This is getting deep. How long I don't even know how long this has been going on for, but we're already getting deep already. Like damn.
Come on, this is
Yeah.
this this is a podcast, bro. This is how I get my
Yeah.
back.
Boy, I thought this really is a survival guide, true to the name. Damn. Oh boy. But yeah, man. What you said there as well. People have demons. People really have demons, and I think that you only realize that when it kind of culminates into something that happens, or maybe when someone's not really right, or they're not acting in a way that you usually think they would act, or they might be more distant or whatever. You know,
Mm-mm.
yeah. With your friends, hit them up, see how they're doing, and don't be a stranger as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's important. I learned that last year living alone. Like people matter, man. You can't just live in a studio, a
Yeah,
ghost for a year. Like that doesn't work.
yeah, no, it does not work at all because, that person could turn around and say, hey, where were you? You know, where were you? What did you do when I was going through all of my demons? Like you always have to be around for people because you never know when they're going to need it most.
Yeah, yeah. How
Also, I
have you
want
been
to,
coping
yeah,
this year?
um, how have what mentally?
Yeah, man.
Boy, it has been a lot. Like it's not even a thing where it's been unstable, but it's a thing where I've found myself in many different places mentally. Um, and I can say right now it's probably the best that it's been for a while because I think throughout the year I could slowly see things getting really, really peak. So like September was cool. I just moved into my place and everything. Um, and just getting into uni again and meeting people and just getting into my course. Um, October, November time, it was a little bit harder because I think that's when you start to see, okay, finances, whichever, like, okay, this is what I need to do, regarding what I need to pay off for rent, that's how much I need for food, that's how much I need for shopping, and you need money to obviously fuck about, do whatever you want with your friends, but, um, that kind of goes out the window a little bit because you get more unexpected bills. And then I guess December time's probably the bit where things started to get a little bit crazy, mentally for me because, um, not many people know, but in terms of like exam anxiety, test anxiety, like I get really bad when it comes to that. Like it's quite big for me. So I have to try my best to, like just calm myself down, before, the test and just try and revise as much as I can. Um, and I think the reason things were so crazy for me back then was because it wasn't just that. It was also a culmination of the financial stresses and just personal stresses as well. Trying my best to just do as well as I can and always putting that pressure on myself. Um, you know, I think looking back on it, a lot of it really to this day still is like self-inflicted. Like these don't just happen like in a vacuum. Um, there's always context behind why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Um, yeah, uh, as well, coupled with the fact that it's my final year and I want to do as best as I can. Um, and I didn't really do as well as I would have liked, in my second year. So just trying to really always be in a position where I feel like I have to make up for something or make up for lost time or lost opportunity. When you really feel like you're lagging behind, you feel it, and you feel it 1,000.
Mm.
And you have to be careful because if you don't really check yourself or you don't really self-assess, you kind of take that mindset everywhere you go. Like if you feel like you're behind in your studies and you're behind on life, like you're gonna obviously fall behind when it comes to catching up with your friends or fall behind on your personal health or your hygiene or you know just caring for yourself. You will fall behind on those things, and obviously when you do that you start to get into a um more semi-depressive state. And unfortunately the sad reality is some people can't really come back from that, but I'm very thankful that I've been able to sort of go through those things and still be somewhat intact mentally. Like I'm still somewhat intact. I know there's a lot of people that wouldn't be. So, I'm thankful.
Yeah, we thank God, man.
We thank God. I just wanted to say, anyone listening to this now, if you've been affected, or you're going through what you're going through now, you can call the Good Samaritans hotline. Their number is 03300945717. That's 03300945717.
Man, that's really memorize that number still.
Yeah, yeah. It's all here. It's all here. I mean, yeah, podcast, may as well
Yeah,
plug it
I hear
in.
that. Come
Yeah.
on,
Give it that
saving
little bit of,
lives.
yeah, come on, give it a little bit of that professional twang. What can you do? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I had a similar thing this year. Well, last year even. But I always had this belief up until like mid last year that, oh, I don't need therapy. Like I can deal with my own problems. Anything that God gives me, he does it because I can get through it myself, blah, blah, blah. And then someone told me like, if you're feeling sick, like you have a cough or your arm's broken, you go to a physical doctor. But if your head's broken, you're not going to do anything about it. And that hit me. I was like, damn, like I'm really going through a lot. And I'm just like, nah, it's cool. I'll just take paracetamol and call it a day. But nah, I kind of wish I called it the Good Samaritans looking back after you mentioned it now. But yeah, definitely being more proactive with mental health is so important because I hear what you're saying when it's like some people can go through a lot and just come out a lot worse. And it's very much up to you, like whether you sort it out then or you let it build up. Because
Mm,
like a lot of my stresses were things that if I just dealt with at the time, it would never have been that deep. But then when you compile that with other things and keep compiling, eventually it's like, oh my days, there's too much going on. I can't cope anymore.
mm,
And yeah, man, it's super important to seek help when you need it.
yeah. Very, very, very important. Like, don't be a stranger. And really, when you're going through these things, like it's hard because I think the number one thing that makes it hard for people to reach out is that they're scared how people will judge them. Um, but it comes from having that circle of friends and knowing that there's at least one person that you can speak to, that you can be open with, and they're not going to judge you. Um, they're not going to tell you to shake it off or to be a man or woman up or whatever. Like they're going to actually listen and be there for you at least. So I think we do have that responsibility to ourselves. And we shouldn't suffer in silence. Um, I don't think anyone deserves to go through that alone. Yeah.
Mm.
So, obviously our friends, they can do our bit and they can do their bit, and family members and whatnot, they can do their bit, but we have to kind of do our bit as well. And just remember that, your body, your body's a temple, your mind is a temple too. So these things, when you go through it, you have to try your best to do what's best for you. If that means be sad for a day, be sad for a week, for a month, then you can do that. But you have to try and realize that as much as I'm allowing myself to be sad, I do need to sort this out. I do need to do these things and speak to someone. Some people will say, therapy is quite expensive, and it is. Like, the cost of therapy and CBT is insane. But you scroll through your contact list, there's going to be that one person or other person that you see and you can open up to them, and they're not going to judge you at all. They're not going to use it against you. They're actually going to be there and actually going to try and support you and be your therapist essentially for what you're going through.
Mm, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth noting as well that there's almost always light at the end of what you're going through. Like I've learned from a lot of my experiences that whenever things get really bad, it's because it's been bad for a while. But 9 times out of 10, after clocking that, oh crap, things are bad, things just get so good. And it may not be immediate, like you just, win a car in a competition or something, but it could be that grad scheme offer or, your mum makes cake. I don't know. Like I've got nothing to say. I'm kind of dumb right now, but there's almost always a good ending to what you go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so important that you celebrate the small things, the small victories, because in this life, like things might not happen the way they want it to happen, but we know there are going to be times, or there's going to be little things that we have that maybe we can treat ourselves, or we see that's going to at least be a very, very, very welcome distraction um for the ills of this life. Like you need it, you really, really,
Definitely.
really need it. Trust me.
Hmm.
Like I don't know about you, but I have a very, 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 very sweet tooth. So I'm proud to say this year's involved a lot of comfort eating and a lot of really checking myself, but I fit myself back up. I'm proud to say I've been able to do that. Um, and I'm here like speaking with you now, obviously. And, I can say I'm in a better place, right now than I was. Much better place.
Yeah, I love to hear it, man.
Yeah.
I think whenever when someone finds happiness, everyone wins. I've learned that.
Mm, mm, I agree 100%.
It's not for me. I'm such a clown when it comes to being like angry or sad because I'll go through the maddest thing. Like when my granddad passed away last year, I was sad for about 25 minutes. I want to give him a FIFA, and I'm like, you know what? I'm the king. Everything's good.
No, it's good to feel like that, and to just bring yourself back up because you have to kind of allow there to be some opportunity for you to have some sort of redemption arc or to kind of climb back up in a way because you can't be down forever. But you can't beat
Mm,
yourself down forever. You have to try yourself to climb back up. Sorry, you have to try and climb back up in a way.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You got to find what makes you tick and then keep that around as long as you can.
exactly, exactly. I think for a lot of people, they might not be able to find that, and they might find it hard to know what makes them tick. But really as well, these things, if you go through them and you find way to sort of get past it and you are honest and you're upfront with people, like you can always, it's always character building and being able to say you've been through something mentally and it was not been the best experience. It's been maybe a horrible experience. It's been a really traumatic experience, but being able to say that you're still here today and you're still kind of going through this life today and you're still finding things okay is a big, big victory. I think it's a bigger victory than people realize.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's hard, man.
Mm.
Like life can really beat you up sometimes, but when you take that W, I mean, nothing feels as good as that.
Oh yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure. It's a big W because it's like, all right, things are kind of back to normal again, or I have my mojo back, or I'm feeling myself. There'll be times where like in 1 week I'll be feeling like the lowest of the low, and then the next minute I'll be feeling like I want to be popping bottles or or grabbing an Uber to X or Y or whatever club and being like, all right, I'm really feeling myself. So, this life is very up and down.
Trust me, man.
Yeah. I wanted to also ask, just during this whole like pandemic and everything, how are you finding just everything, the way 2020 has gone? Because a lot of my friends have told me 2020 is cancelled already. Like this
Yep.
year is cancelled completely.
I've heard that a lot. And initially I was the same. I was like, oh, this year is screwed. Like, forget it.
Mm,
But I think I'm the type of person where I can't remember who I had this chat with. It was like 10 years ago. And me and my friend were sitting there and it's like, only worry about the things you can control. Like anything that's out of your control, be it like political, economic, or of course in this circumstance, a pandemic. If you can't control it, you can't worry about it. And ever since I learned that as a kid, I've always tried to adjust to the new normal. And in this
mm,
circumstance, of
mm,
course, the new normal is staying inside all the time. So
yeah.
me personally, I'm not affected by it because I feel like if it was just me, like if everyone with a last name Ebert Kelman had coronavirus and everyone else was fine, that would be a problem because I'd be like, for flip's sake, how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
But
But
because
yeah.
it's a thing where everyone's held back, like there's no real winners and losers here apart from like,
No.
these pharmaceutical companies, but that's a different discussion. So I don't know. I'm not
Uh,
really hurt by it because as long as I'm doing, as long as I'm doing my bit, I know that when this is all over, I'm going to be, you know, I'm not falling backwards. As long as I'm still going forward, be it half the speed it was beforehand, it's not that deep.
no, no, no. It's not. And I think as well, like what you said, adjusting to the new normal and being able to just be adaptable, always be on your toes. I think it's important because a lot of people are really under the impression that this new normal is going to last them a very long time. I don't know how long it will last you, but at some point things will change and you have to be ready for that. But it involves you kind of embracing what is happening now. You know, for some people, they might not have the most stable home or the most ideal living situation, but it's
Mm,
really about trying to make the most of that, or positioning yourself to be somewhere where you can make the most of that. You know, whether that's at a friend's house, or whether that's by yourself or with somebody that you trust, or even if it's at home, really.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point. I'm happy you mentioned that as well about, being in a stable home, because I was having a conversation with a girl the other day, and she was straight up like, not everyone can just chill at home. Some people are going through like, she mentioned how the domestic violence number cases has like shot up recently.
Yeah,
And
it spikes up, man.
yeah, it's deep to realize that, you know, obviously we're safe at home most of the time, but some people really haven't got that, it's not the same for other people. And that's a tough one. Like, I don't know how to answer that. I've never really felt in danger, but
Mm.
yeah, again, it's like, this is the one time we kind of get in life where everything's on pause. Like, a lot of my friends would be like, oh, I hate going to work. I'd rather just stay at home, do nothing, or uni's long. I'd rather just play FIFA. And it's like, now you actually can just not go to work and play FIFA. So why are you still
Yeah.
complaining?
People will never be happy. People will
Literally, yeah.
never be happy. It's for the longest time we've wanted the world to stop spinning. Now the world has stopped spinning, stop tilting on its axis. Like, what are we doing?
Mm,
You
mm.
know, some people are rebelling, others are really finding it hard to adjust. And I was speaking to my brother the other day, actually. Uh, he works in the city and he was telling me, some of his colleagues are really finding it hard to adjust because you tend to find a lot of people, um, that pattern of work, that pattern of what they're used to, they actually use it as a means to kind of escape from what their current situation is back home, or they kind of use it to sort of distract themselves and keep themselves as busy as possible to not have to face up to certain realities. But now, you're not working, you have to kind of face up to that reality and you have to go through it. And that is hard for a lot of people. And it really sucks because I can't personally speak for that. And a lot of people as well, like, to them, to me anyway, home is home. Like, I love it. But to a lot of people, home is hell,
Yeah.
essentially. So they kind of have to be through that. And it's like you're in purgatory. Um, yeah. What can you say to that though? Like, it's so difficult. It's really, really hard.
Yeah, honestly, like, my answer to her, because obviously she was fine. She's not going through anything, but I was like, this is the time in any circumstance where you can deep your situation. Because
Mm,
be it like work stressful or like your home is crazy, at least now you kind of know for sure and you can build towards fixing that once this is all over. But
mm,
then, you kind of go back into the question of what if it's never over? How long is it going to be? And I don't know. It's a tough one. But fundamentally, I think this is the time to figure things out, because if you come out of this and you still don't know what you're doing, or at least have a plan of action to figure it out later, then like it's tight.
yeah, it's peak out here, man. It's peak out here. I think just trying to re-strategize and trying to think things through again, and have not, it doesn't necessarily have to be a plan B, but just being able to try and be adaptable, and just make the most of your situation. Because God forbid, and I'd hope it didn't happen, but if my grad role got taken away tomorrow, like, I'd have to find something to do. I'd have to find a way to kind of readjust to life, after university, and just find a way to make my situation okay for me.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
but I think for a lot of people, it, it, it really forces you to sit down and just plan out your life. And when it comes to planning out like our life and stuff, like, we love doing it, but we love doing it when, our life is in action and full flow. But when, the ball stops rolling, um, and, we have to be behind the ball and just kind of figure out where and plan the trajectory of where it's going to go next. All of a sudden it gets difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I
Who
find it hard
knows?
to give advice on this because my mindset's always positive, and it's
Mm,
like, for no matter what happens in life, as long as I don't like die tomorrow,
mm,
I'm always gonna find a solution. Well, at least I hope so.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm very similar to that. But I also know a lot of people that they find it hard to really be positive at all, and find positivity in anything. Um, and it's hard because you wanna help them, um, and you want to speak from your own experience, but at the same time, you do not want to come across as insensitive, or you don't want to come across as, seeming to invalidate what they're going through. So it's
mm,
just, it's super difficult, um, super, super difficult. And I guess it's just like, you almost kind of have to leave people to their own devices in a way, because in this life, they will figure things out. Like, we all have to figure things out on our ones, on our J's eventually. Um,
mm,
yeah, we'll have to.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I think I'm probably more scared about what happens afterwards because things like, recession we mentioned, like like I've heard people talking about how you can like refer or defer your credit card loans and your like mortgage and stuff like that. Like these debts aren't disappearing, but
no.
unemployment is still climbing. And people that are sad, they're not just gonna, oh, lockdown's over, I'm happy now. Like these things aren't gonna go away. Like things are paused, but they are going to restart in every sense. And I think I'm more scared about what happens afterwards. Like how are we gonna find jobs? How are people that realize their homes are bad, how are they going to deal with those problems? Or people that lost their grad schemes, how are they going to, find new jobs? And these things are probably the most scary to me, as opposed to the lockdown itself.
Oh, I agree. I agree, because it's the aftermath of that, and like, you have to kind of face up to that reality, because right now this is your new normal, but then afterwards, when everything else starts, you have to find another new normal, and you have to
Mm,
just always be readjusting. Why can't things be why can't things be constant, be stable? And it's really difficult, because right now, think this is probably the most uncertain things have been, ever. If I can go out on a limb and say that, in my lifetime anyway, the most uncertain things have been, um for people around me in particular, not me. I'm not speaking about myself, um,
mm,
because I think I've seen firsthand that some people, like, they lose their roles, and then they have to kind of take out time to figure out what they're doing next. Other people will kind of be very proactive and say, hey, I've lost my role. You know what? Let me go and apply for this master's. Let me enroll in this course and whatnot. But even then, it's just like, if this role is not certain, is this next path that I'm going to take certain? What am I going to do when this is all over? And a lot of people, it's hitting them hard, man. Like, I think it's hit everybody hard in some way, shape or form, but some harder than others. And I think when it comes to the virus and everything, I don't really think about, when it comes to social distancing, why it's so big at that, I don't really think about um, why I need to do it, regarding health and safety issues and whatnot, but
mm.
just trying to think about what people will be going through mentally, and just trying to be sensitive to that, because I don't know if, if you lose your job or whatnot, because this whole thing, is going to piss you off if you're outside of your window, boarded up in your home, um, where rent is an issue, and you're seeing, people gallivanting in the street, walking around, in crop tops or whatever, and when the sun's out, acting as if, this is a whole holiday, or acting as if it's spring break.
Mm.
Yeah. You have to be sensitive to these things, because you don't know what people are going through. And I guess I'm just trying to always think of other people in a way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
I think I'd flip that around though, just to play devil's advocate and
Mm,
say like some people, like I know one of my friends, her dad passed away because of COVID, and
mm.
they would always go like somewhere, they'd always go out and like Regent Street or something, or just to chill.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was very much like, I mean, she didn't go, but I was very much like, if it were me, I would just go. I mean, it's a small fine, and like I'm going through something. You kind of want to, you want to grieve in your own way, right? And I
Yeah.
guess it's tight because I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you completely that you got to be aware that some people are losing their houses and stuff like that. But then I wonder what, because obviously some people are just going out to enjoy the sun, but I wonder what's really going on behind the short shorts and sunscreen.
Hmm. It's true. I mean, like we said, you don't really know what people are going through on the other side. So it's just like maybe that, maybe them going out in this time is going to be their therapy.
Mm,
Um, but I guess maybe as well, the same way that I would, if I had lost my job and whatnot, the same way that I would expect those people outside to be sensitive to what I'm going through, maybe I have to look at myself and be sensitive to what they're going through and think, okay, the grass is not always greener. I don't think they generally go about with a care in a, like without a care in the world and feel like, okay, everything is fine. You know what I mean? Like I can't really
mm,
speak for any other cities, but it's London. Like everyone is always has a million and one things on their mind. I don't think anyone's going to be walking out into the street, at least from what I've seen anyway, or if it was me, I don't think I'd be walking out into the street having like not a care in the world and feeling like I can just go anywhere. I feel as free as a daisy. Like there's always going to be things on my mind and things that I need to cross check when I get back from my journey.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's crazy because like I remember when my mum had cancer, what 6 years ago, 7 years ago now,
Oh wow.
and she met a girl in hospital who also had cancer, of course, and I was talking to her, that mum's friend, and she started smoking when they both got out. And I
Oh
was like,
wow.
you've just gone through like the worst thing imaginable. Why are you smoking? I think it's so much worse. And then she goes, I've been good my whole life. I've never done anything wrong. I've never stepped out of line. And then I reach 40 or 30, whatever, and I get given cancer. And I'm like, well, right. Cause like, how can I respond to that? If you're in a, if you're in a position where you've been, so-called quote unquote perfect your whole life and then the dice is rolled and you just get bad luck, I can completely understand how you'd want to smoke there. I wouldn't personally, and I think she's
Yeah.
dumb. And I feel bad for saying it because she actually passed 2 years ago.
Ah, rest in
And
peace.
in my head, it's like, I mean, why did you smoke? But then I don't know. It's very crazy. And yeah, man, I
Well,
I, I can't. I struggle to judge people now because I'm just scared that you never know what's going on.
well, I don't think, I think it's something that I've learned as well. I think I used to hear it a lot where you say you can never judge a book by its cover, but you really can't because you really do not know what they're going through, what hand they've been dealt in life. Because if life were simple, like you could boss people around, you could tell them not to do shit and they would actually listen to you. But, you know, people go through stuff and you never really know how, they're going to respond to it. Because if everybody knew the hand that they were going to be dealt in life, like we'd all be able to be proactive and we'd all be able to say, all right, this is going to happen to me in 5 years time, or I'm going to die in 10 years time. So I need to start planning for my future. I need to start doing this, doing that, da, 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 da. But I think in life, like you're always on your toes. So I think when things like that happen and they hit you as hard as it does, you kind of lose that sort of restraint in a way. And not restraint as in like go crazy, but that restraint where you always need to be stringent with things and you always need to kind of, be good or at least be ahead of the curve because I think when these things happen at the end of the day, you realize it's your life. So you really have to choose how you live it. And you realize more and more when you go through these things, people's opinions start to matter a lot less as you get older. I think I've noticed it.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. Cause
not for
it's,
sure.
yeah. Cause whether it's through maybe time or whether you're trying to kind of make up for lost opportunities or trying to do something over, people will live their life and you have to accept that. I don't personally as well. I mean, if I was in that situation, God rest her soul. And I'm sure she's in a better place now and thoughts to her family, but I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to be doing that if I was in that situation anyway. But then as well, like, what I mean, like she was in her 40s where like 20 somethings, you know, there's still a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
life that we have to experience. There's still a lot of things we have to go through, you know.
absolutely, man.
But that doesn't mean our experiences are invalid, especially as undergraduates. Like, this is the Undergraduate Survival podcast, Survival Guide. So we've we found a way to kind of get through it all, and we're here now telling our side of things. But there's still a lot more to this, as we'll see
Yeah,
like in the next 10 years or so.
for sure, man.
Yeah.
All right, I clocked. This is obviously meant to be surviving out here, but I've mentioned 2 deaths in the last like 5 minutes.
Damn.
So
You know what? If we were present, you'd have to drink every time you mention a death or every time something got deep. I think that's got to be a rule. If I'm back on here, which I hope to be on, if I'm back on here, because this podcast is great, like we're gonna do that in person, and you're gonna have to drink every time you mention death.
nightmare still.
I will decide the choice of drink, okay? I will decide.
Fair enough. I'll just say respawn instead of death.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Respawn. The heck? The heck? You sure we don't, if you say it, you sure you're not gonna end up in like the gulag or something beforehand? And then you get the choice. Oh boy. Warzone reference, by the way, if anyone's listening. Yeah. Oh wow.
It's actually funny you say that because I said my granddad passed. I was looking for his old stuff years ago, to be fair, while he was still around, and I found these like 3 bullets in his bag. I'm like, what the hell? I don't think
Wow.
I ever told him that I found his bullets, but
Oh wow.
I'm guessing he survived the gulag.
Oh yeah. I think he did. I think he did. With 3 of those bullets, I'm sure he would have. I'm sure he would have. Oh wow. What were they? Were they silver? Were they shotgun shells? What were you able to trace where they would have come out from?
I wish I was like 12 at the time,
Let's
and
see.
this is before Mama let me play 18 games. So I don't know. They weren't big, so I'm guessing they weren't like a sniper or a machine gun. It's probably like a pistol.
Probably a pistol.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah. It reminds me of a time I was in Canada actually, and I think I was coming back on my way. I think there were like shotgun shells, and like I actually had some gunpowder in it. And me at the time, like being 16 years old, like obviously you shouldn't really have that shit on you and shouldn't really carry it. But I was like, well, okay, seen this, never seen this in my life. I'm just gonna carry it with me. I somehow managed to put it in my suitcase, and obviously the rule is quite strict when it comes to like gunpowder or shotgun shells or any type of weaponry or that, like you shouldn't have on you. You can't take it with you when you travel, period. But I just managed to get it through, and I just was looking at it and examining it here. And my mum actually came to me one day and said, "Is that what I think it is? Is that gunpowder?" And I was like, "No, of course not." But yeah,
Oh man.
it's weird because I've never really had that. I've never really lived in America or Canada or in a country where like arms are sort of normalized like that, where people own handguns for livings and stuff.
Mm.
So even when I see one, it still feels very alien to me. Like I'll walk past maybe a police officer that's maybe standing near Buckingham Palace, or if the UK is in high alert or something, and you see police officers with maybe like assault rifles, or you see people in the army carrying submachine guns, are just like, well, like what's happening here? It's just weird because for me anyway, if I lived in like America or something, it wouldn't give me like a weird feeling, but whenever I see it, I just always feel a little bit on edge because just like, what that thing can do to somebody.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was like that growing up, but then I don't know what happened to me. I'm suddenly just super fascinated by everything. I'm like, oh, that's a cool gun. Like, can I hold it? And obviously, I'm black, so the answer is no. But
Can I hold it? Oh, wait, I dare you to
I've
say
always said I want to know what it feels like to be shot. Like these things are just fascinating to me because obviously you're never gonna know what it's like. I'm like, shoot me in the arm, like just once, officer, please. Like,
Uh, Give it to me. He's like, trust me, I'm already done. This is basically me saying, yo, I'm done. Put the bullet through my head. But I've always wondered what it's like as well, to be fair. Like, I think someone said to me once, maybe this is not true, but someone said to me that it feels, what gets you is the stun of like the bullet traveling at such a large speed first, and on impact, it sends you to the floor.
Mm.
It's like you feel the force of it first, and then when you realize you're impaled, then you start to feel the pain. So it's like one quick sensation and one like bang bang.
Mm. Mm.
But a lot of people a lot of people when they've been shot, they don't realize that they've been shot in like until like the first 5 seconds have passed, and then you realize, oh wait, I have a bullet in you. Then all of a sudden, bullet in my skin, pain.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
hurts.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
mad. I
don't
mean,
know.
I can't really relate for a real gun, but I've gone paintballing a few times.
Mm.
And once that adrenaline kicks in, it's like, do your worst.
That stuff hurts. That stuff hurts. Oh my goodness. I was unlucky enough to actually. This happened one time. I don't forgive one of my friends for this. Like, he actually distracted me to the point where like I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I can't remember what happened, but I think we were there. We were on other teams. And I think he actually. I was such an idiot as well. He actually said, "Yo, your shoelace has been tripped up." Because obviously, like, these were just brand new shoes that I'd gotten. I was like, "Wait, my shoelaces?" And then all of a sudden, I just see one bright blue pellet gun right from my forehead. Bang.
Oh,
Next thing I know, I have like a big sore on my head for a week.
damn.
Yeah, for a week. Yeah, paintballing's crazy.
Yeah, when you have friends like that, I can imagine that's a wild one.
I know. Some of my
Yeah,
friends as well, like, they're just jokesters as well. So it's like, would I really trust them with my life? I don't know if I would. But yeah.
yeah, I hear that, man. How have you managed, like, because you're probably the only guy that I know that's been through this as well, but how have you managed with long distance relationship?
Mm, I knew this one was coming. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, long distance relationships, they are something. It didn't start out
Don't get in trouble.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble. Um, yeah, I think the idea of long distance relationships obviously is kind of rubbish, but you kind of make you kind of make time for it to not be long distance in a way. So maybe there are times where you kind of go and visit that person, or you kind of go see that person, and just try to make sure not everything is behind a screen, or like obviously through iMessage, or if you're texting or whatever. Sometimes seeing that person, it makes it still real in your head that, okay, yeah, this is a relationship. This is something I'm happy in. This is something that I'm really trying to, um, be a part of, because I have strong feelings for this person, so and so, and they come to life when you see that person.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, what's your, with long distance relationships, like or relationships in general, what's your experiences have been? I think I want to put you on the spot a little bit because you asked me, so I may have to put you on the spot a little bit. What's your experiences been, um, with relationships, with uni? Yeah.
Nightmares, though. For me, it's been calm. Like
Mm,
I'm not really. I don't know how to word it, but I'm very good on my own,
mm,
and I'm the type of person where I need my space. I need to be able to, to grind out this podcast for a couple of days or to revise for like. I'm very comfortable just being not talking to anyone for a week and doing my own thing.
mm,
So when it comes to long distance, I'll start with that. I didn't really suffer at all because I appreciate the space. And in the
mm-hmm.
back of my mind, I know that, look, I'm here to get a degree. We're going to come out of it. I just ran away 100 miles. This is all for something. And then assuming all works out, we both do well, both do together, like we're going to be so much better off afterwards. So having that belief and at the same time having my own space to bang stuff out. That was calm for me. I wasn't phased at all. I was probably better off than most people.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. And I semi I was like that before. I mean, I still am, but I think being in a relationship now, you kind of, one thing I will definitely say, there's a lot of compromise that goes into it. So
Mm.
you cannot have things your own way all the time. Definitely not. You really do have to compromise, and you really do have to, give things up, when you're with the other person. And hopefully that person is going to give things up for you as well. And in the context of it being a university relationship, you kind of both have to have those priorities. Your priorities have got to be the same. So I couldn't be with someone in university if, I wanted to do my best to get my degree, and all they wanted to do was maybe turn up, or they weren't really sure about uni, or they just kind of didn't seem like they wanted to go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think just having that journey, sometimes university can bring people apart, but sometimes it can bring people closer, because it's that thing where you go through it, but you also know that other person is going through it too. So you kind of realize, for sure you're not alone.
That's
And
true.
yeah, and that makes, in my opinion, that makes things a lot more bearable. And that makes the relationship, just realizing that the person is going through what you're going through, and they are there. It doesn't feel like you're on completely two different planets. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but every relationship that I see, or from some of my friends anyway, like, that maybe hasn't worked out or whatnot, um, most of them, they tend to be in very different spaces in life. And sometimes one person will have to commit to something else more than they commit to other people, more than they can commit to another person. Um, so they just have to pick that thing, and there's no space for other person in their life. And mostly because, as well, that journey that they're going through, they're not going through it with someone else. That person's not already on that journey, and they can't just take someone with them as well. In this life, you definitely can't be a passenger. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. I wouldn't say I've seen the same. I think a lot of my friends who were in relationships that didn't work out, I guess it's because I was younger at the time, and not many of my friends are with girls now, but it was a thing where they were together for the sake of it, or for the image, or for Instagram. And this whole goals, all this goals thing
Oh
you
yeah.
start to act a certain way.
Goals. Yeah.
Trust, like, the amount of my friends that have been with girls, gone to the shard, and then broke up afterwards, it's like, come on, man. Like, I could
Yeah.
have gone to the shard with you. I know your good side better than half of these girls. Like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And
It's
yeah, I
it's
don't know.
funny, yeah. It's funny you say that.
Is that what you're taking the next?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's no, no, no. We actually made an agreement to never go to the shop.
Needed.
Yeah, she's not on it at all. She's not on it. Like, I mentioned it like 3 times, and each time she just said no. Like, are you mad? Like, am I basic? It's a, it's a weird one, because like, what, the shard basic? Like, what? What do you mean? But then you actually realize, okay, if this is what it's associated with, you kind of want to go somewhere that is a different scene and whatnot. But it'll be nice. It'll be nice to go, I mean, it would be kind of nice to just be sitting there, because I've never actually been inside it, and I've lived in London my whole life. So, if
Mm.
she's listening, this is a cry for help. We need to go. When this whole lockdown is over. But yeah.
Literally, man. I'd love to stay the night in the shard. That's how I
Oh,
know I made it.
oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. Like, when the actual prices of those rooms, number one, poor, so like, maybe not, but at the same time, like, when I actually can have the means to do that, it would be nice. 'Cause it's not just the room or maybe the size of it, but probably just being in the certain type of like amenities you'll have, service chart, like, as in room service or whatever.
Mm.
Um, and it's just, I guess, maybe the status as well. Can't lie. Who doesn't want the status?
That's what I mean. I would never even stay there, but I had an experience once. I can't remember where I went. It must have been like Mercedes or BMW, one of these like luxury car showrooms.
Mm.
And I mean, to be fair, I was like 14, so it doesn't really matter. But the guy was like, "Oh, do you need a toilet?" Or like, he was the most disrespectful guy I've ever met. Like, because he knew I wasn't gonna buy a car. But in the back of my mind, it's like, how did you know? Like, what gave it away?
Wow.
And I've always associated that to be like, one day when I actually can afford to do something, I'm gonna pull up in like Buckingham Palace and be like, look, this is my credit card. Like, I'm buying it. And then like, I'll return it straight away because I'm not balling like that. But
Yeah,
it's the sense of pride that says, look, no matter
exactly.
what you think, I can do what I want to do.
Exactly. And just being able to prove a point to people as well. Cause people like that, like, it just annoys me. Like, you work here in the showroom. Does this mean you are not anywhere near the status that people that actually come into the showrooms to buy, to potentially, um, sign up for these dealerships are in? Like, you work here. There's a difference.
Mm,
I am the customer. You work here. You are staff. I think some people as well, like, it's weird. I don't really want to say that those people are better and whatnot, but, why are you looking down on people? Why?
mm,
And for me as well, like, I get that a lot. Like, I get that so much. Whether I'm going out to eat, it may be a restaurant, or maybe I need to use the restroom for somewhere else, or if I'm just walking down the street on a certain road, maybe you see, like, it's very affluent or whatnot. You, People won't say it, but it's just by their body language and the stares. You can tell it's like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? What do you want? How can we help you? Da, 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 like, just random shit.
mm.
But most people will learn one day.
Trust. I think it was the day I met you and Brian in Bristol. Not Bristol, London actually. It
Mm.
was some day I went out to eat, and then I sat down. He gave me the menu. Said, "Oh, here's the lunch menu. It's all cheaper here." And I'm like,
What?
"Huh?"
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
I was so backed. And the thing is, like, looking back, I appreciate it because I had no peas at the time, but like,
Mm.
allow it.
Exactly. It's like, what do you mean? You know what? I think the next time someone does that, and if they do that at a time where we know we're balling, because obviously we're gonna be balling, we should actually take the piss. And you know what? One of these days, I want to take the piss and I want to work one of the waiters so hard. One of the guys that has actually come to see us so hard. I want to make sure they do not forget who I am. Order like completely, almost everything off of the menu and just put them to work. Be like, go on, cool. See how it feels. For my own entertainment, obviously. Yeah,
That's the dream.
that is the dream. That is a dream. It's weird. Like, I think sometimes you get those experiences, like when you go certain places that, are supposed to be associated with fine dining or whatever. I think even in gauchos, I think, the water's actually, you have to specifically request for tap water. Otherwise,
Mm,
it's
mm.
actually, I think, I do not know where the water's from, but the water's £3. So it's just like, well, okay. Didn't know I was paying £3 for water in this economy, but what can
Those are the worst. I can't remember where I was. I had the same experience. I'm like, can I get tap? Can I get water? It's like, yeah, sure. Brings back this big glass bottle. It was, it was Voss as well, like a fat liter Voss bottle, like £15. I'm like, what?
Well, 50, oh my god. I'm this city they call London. I'm done. I'm done. Oh my gosh.
It's peak. And it's one of them where like they walked over with the bottle, then they open it up and pour it into the glass for you.
Oh
So
yeah.
if they just handed me the bottle, I'd be like, nah, I want the tap, like take it back, I want a refund. But they just opened it and poured it. I'm like, for flip's sakes.
They know what they're doing. You know what? If the water is going to be £3 or £15, if it's an hour I have to take, give me the bottle so I can control how much I take. Because if I know myself, if I'm paying £15 for a bottle of water, you think I'm finishing it up there? No, I'm going to make it worth every single pound it was worth. I'm gonna, I'm gonna make that water last me for a week. I'm telling
Bro,
you.
I've still got the bottle somewhere, you know.
Oh my god. At least try it. At least you'll try it. Oh wow. Some people, man, I think it's worth it if the dining experience is good. and if you like the taste of the food, and obviously everything looks nice and well presented. But if it's not, I think it can really leave a bad taste in your mouth, and it can really leave you with more to be desired.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with flipping, these high-end restaurants with little portions. Like, oh man, I can go on all day. Like,
Uh,
cause that 15
I'm.
bottle of water, that 50 bottle of water, I spent £20 on food as well. And I
Mm,
went McDonald's afterwards because it was like
oh wow,
2 spoonsfuls and I'm done. Like, what am I paying for?
wow, no way. That's the worst. That's the worst. I actually had a similar experience with this place. Uh, what's it called? I think it's a Bodine's. One place in London anyway. Like I think I had a certain amount of food and it just didn't fill me up. So I think I literally ended up going to Nando's straight afterwards, and it was right next to, it was right across the road. And you know, it's really bad because the people I was sitting with, they actually said, "Hey, should we go to Nando's afterwards?" And they all agreed. And the waiters were looking at us like, what? As in like, how could you, like, after we're serving you food and you pay to be here, like, and you're giving us some money, like, why are you gonna go next? But your choice, really.
Old man.
Yeah.
You're literally paying for the accent. The accent on the E. Like, at Nando's you get ambience, but there you get the ambiance. You're just paying for that little line.
That was reminds me of that Jay-Z line. Oh, it's not Cristal, it's Crystal. Oh my gosh. Just to be associated with it. That's what I'm paying my money for. Okay. This is all for imagery. This is not for the dining experience. This is for imagery. This is for me to put on my Instagram, okay? I don't care what you give me. You know what I mean? Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Oh. I think I think next time when this economy is a bit better, I'll probably, for now, obviously it'll be nice to go to like one of those restaurants, like not the ones that like are like super expensive, but one day. I don't see it happening anytime soon. When you what was I gonna ask? When this is all over, what restaurant are you gonna go to first? Or where are you gonna go out to eat first?
McDonald's, man. I can't even lie.
Oh wow, Medisia, is that you?
It's not even me, but I'm at a point in life now where it's like, I've started to appreciate finances a lot more ever
Mm,
since, 2016, since start of
yeah,
uni. And I think early this year, if not late last year, I was like, if I was around in 2008-9, I would have killed that recession. Like, I would have shorted the market, I would have put everything in stocks, and I'd be balling right now. And
therefore,
then to have the exact same thing happen now, like markets crash, like I know it's going to recover. So
of
why would I
course,
not put everything I can straight into FTSE 100 or whatever? I mean, that's what I've been doing. I've
yeah,
only got like, £200, but I'm like, you know what? If I can invest that instead of eating out, that will change. Like, that's 250 next year, and
you,
so on and so on. So everything that I can, that's not. I've got a mentality where it's like, if let's say I want to buy, I don't know, a new pair of shoes, and I say, you know what, I'm not gonna buy it. Instead of me just spending that on something else, I'll be like, that £60 that I would have spent on Air Forces, I'm gonna put into savings.
mm,
So literally, I must have saved. That's why I fixed my parents' bathroom. I saved like 4 grand within a year and a half just by doing that, by like saving up that 99p for the McFlurry I didn't buy, or the 61 for shoes. And I don't know, I'm so much more focused on that now because of what's going on, that I just can't see myself eating out. Especially now as a single guy, like I don't like going to restaurants anymore other than like for birthdays.
mm.
I'll take a go to IKEA for a date. That's my date. I'm not
Yeah,
buying you anything.
come on, shout out IKEA, shout out IKEA. That is a very cute date. Um,
IKEA's and Boris bikes. Those are my top two dates. I just want
IKEA's
someone
Boris
paid.
bikes, walking and talking. Come on, nothing beats walking and talking.
Come on. Top tier date.
Yes, very top tier. Getting on the London Underground. I would be there then in Gouchers.
Never
Boy.
goes wrong. But yeah, man,
Mm,
I'm not spending money ever again.
mm. It's good though, like you're very proactive. I mean, you know, most people now will be waiting for something to happen in the market. Then it's like, what? Market's gonna crash. Let me put my money in defense stocks. or in defense assets or whatever. Let me see how much gold I can get, how much of this bond I could get. Da da da. Oh, UK's in this situation. Okay, cool. US bonds. Let's see what's happening here. But I think it's good to always be proactive to like the situation rather than be reactive. You know what I mean? Like, don't save just for the sake of saving, or don't save because you have to save. Save because you want to, and save because you know that when you do, and when the time is right for you to actually dip into those savings, you can pat yourself on the back for doing that.
Mm.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Like I've been telling myself, when my insurance runs out in September, if I can't get a Tesla, like I'm gonna hate myself.
It's a good mindset to have, though. It's a very good mindset to have, because I think just that, and just having the skills to have money management, I think is something that you have to learn, because it's not taught in school at all. It really isn't. Um,
Absolutely.
and I think there's a reason as well, because it's not something that you can just teach to people. You can teach you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and if you've always been someone that has been ready to spend as much as you can, then, why would you listen to somebody that's telling you, save, 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 save? Like, it's crazy. Spending is actually going up, in this economy. Like, it's not going down, because people have dipped into their reserves and their savings. Spending it's not really gone down as much. It's really actually going up. Um,
Mad.
yeah, and it all makes for a very bleak economy, because the UK is losing so much right now, losing so much. So I can imagine that a lot of people, when this is all over, are going to be wishing that they were a lot more reactive. No, sorry, a lot more proactive. And they didn't wait for things like this to happen. They had the foresight to be able to save and have that rainy day fund for days like this to come.
Yeah.
When this is all over, who knows? Who knows how things are going to go? Who's to say that there's not going to be another pandemic in like 2 or 3 years time? Who's to say that?
Yeah.
I actually listened back to the podcast that you invited. I actually looked into it the other day with Wimbledon, how they've actually got pandemic insurance. I think that's crazy. I think that's so like next level. That just blew my mind. That's like next level shit.
Yeah. When I read that, I was like, who would have thought? Because they only added it, what, last year before?
Mm.
So it's like, oh, it's mad. Someone knew something was coming, man.
Somebody knew.
Wimbledon are
Somebody
paying for 5G.
knew. Mm. Oh man. It's funny how it just coincides with that, to be honest. Oh boy. Good old 5G. Um, but yeah, that seems to be the topic on everybody else's lips. It really does seem to. I wonder if anyone could actually have predicted that this was gonna happen, that 5G was gonna come about, and coincide with this, because obviously, everyone's gonna be, a lot of people aren't gonna be outside, they're going to be inside. So right now, like, is the time where, people aren't always going to be checking their phones as much. Yet there'll be a lot of traffic and a lot of usage still going to internet, or into with data, as it always is, but you will get people that won't necessarily be on their phones and want to break from it. So I think it's just funny to me how this all coincides with this now, when people are inside. But maybe it's just me. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. Cause like, you see on Instagram and Twitter, people are doing so many challenges, you know, uh, top 4 albums, baby pictures, the toilet roll challenge. Like, people want to be online as much as they can.
Mm.
And I don't think it's to do with 5G, to be fair. Like, when you're home, it's usually using Wi-Fi. But if anything, I want to see the numbers afterwards, but I feel like data use has gone up, like way up from
Yeah.
this, as opposed to down. Like you'd think people would be with their families, like playing cards or whatever, but I feel like Disney Plus is making a killing. I saw Netflix shares are way up.
Mm.
I don't know. I'll be
Net,
interested to
yeah,
see the numbers.
Netflix shares, Amazon too. Amazon have seen some very, very, insane numbers over the past couple of weeks.
It's nuts, man. Like
Yeah.
I wish I could buy into that, but that's like 2K a share.
Boy, boy. I think, what share would you, if you, which share would you buy into, or you try and buy into that's probably more affordable now that it doesn't have to be Amazon, it doesn't have to be Netflix, but what if you could buy into a share, what would it be right
I mean,
now?
I bought Tesla recently
Okay.
because they were down to like $390 a share,
Okay.
and now 730. So big W for that.
Big W. The biggest W, actually.
108% up in the last 30 days. I don't mind.
Mm, why not?
But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm, to be fair, as far as investing goes, I know I said like I buy a lot of shares now, but it's more or less as what I know.
Mm,
Like I naturally follow Tesla, Google, Apple just because I enjoy tech.
yeah.
And because of that, I'd obviously buy like an Apple share if they went down or Google share if I could afford it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've got to do more research for that one.
Yeah. No, definitely. If, if I could get a share in something, do you know what I would get a share in? This is
What,
going to
TikTok?
sound crazy. No, 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 not TikTok. Not TikTok. B and Q. B and flipping Q.
Mm,
B and Q. Because they are going to cause a trend. What probably the first, one of the first like non-essential stores to open actually, like they're actually reopening their stores. I think it's insane because this is happening. Um, it's coinciding with the good weather that we get here,
yeah,
which is rare. Um, everyone's here. Like most people want to do up their gardens if they have any, or at least want to fix up their house or whatever. Um, I don't know. I like there's uncertainty with it because it's like, okay, is it really going to make as much as it can? It's going to be reduced hours. Not many people are still going to be, they're still not going to have as much business as they would have on a normal day, but at the same time, during this environment, uh, you could see there's a big upside for me anyway, if I was going to, get shares. So it would be B&Q for me, but that's
mm.
just me.
No, I hate that still because I feel like people that are home are going to be seeing all the little things that they want to fix. Like they want a new sofa, they want a new TV, they want a new, fix the crack in the wall. Yeah, I can see people, going straight to B&Q after this and trying to fix their houses. That's a good shout.
Yeah, it's something I'm looking at. Its share price has actually gone up, and it's close to £600. 600, sorry, it's close to 600.
Interesting. I can't even find
Yeah,
B&Q shares.
yeah. Is it 600? Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, B&Q share prices, it's gonna go up, so interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Might have to
it's
sell my
under,
Tesla shares.
yeah. You may have to, may have to. Going up anyway. How much did you say, you got Tesla for again?
Um, so I put in the order when it was like 390, $100 per share, but
Okay.
then I didn't account for the fact that the UK stock market's different to the US one.
Oh, right.
So I think the order actually went through at about 400 and something,
Oh,
which
okay,
is still like
okay.
an 8% growth, but yeah,
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I've got
That's,
FTSE 100 and 250. I've
mm,
got Square. Yeah, I got a decent portfolio now. It's just a shame it's mostly tech.
mm. How did you start with that? It's interesting to know because I've always wanted to kind of get into actually that, actually invest in myself rather than just waiting till I start in a role or a job. How did you get into that? What software did you use, if you don't mind me asking?
Uh, so a bit of context, like I, I follow finances a lot and I
Mm,
realize that most people that talk about it are American, where of course like I read up I think 40% of all shares are owned by individuals in America compared to like 10% here. And
Oh, it's
there are so
crazy.
many, yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? And there are so many apps in America like Robinhood, I don't know if you're familiar with, like Charles Schwab, M1 Credit, all these apps that allow you to trade for free effectively. Whereas we've got to go to like Hargreaves Lansdown for, you know, 0.4% or something of profits. And there's all these different, um, boundaries, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Wow.
Um, so I do my research, like what's because Robinhood, as an example, in America, they have free trading completely. Like you can buy shares for free. You can do fractional trades, so you don't have to pay for a whole share, and it's different. Like it just makes it so much more accessible. And I'm like, what have we got here in the UK? I spent about 4 weeks just looking into the cheapest possible, commission-free app out there
Mm,
when I found one called Free Trade.
okay.
I'll send you a link afterwards. It's quite a cool app, but
Yes, please. I am putting this into a Google search as we speak. Wow.
I think, I think they give you a free share if you use like a referral code. So
Okay.
we'll get that sorted.
Yeah,
But
come
yeah, I
on.
mean, it's commission free. They don't charge you for exit. There's no exit fee. Sorry. There's
Okay.
no, what's the word for it? I can't remember the term, but you get charged a fixed amount for like a stock manager or something to manage your portfolio. But there's
All
no fee
right.
for that with free trades, completely free.
Okay. That is beautiful.
They're
That's
working
beautiful.
on adding fractional trades as well, so you can just
Okay.
buy a pound of Tesla. That'd be sick. But
All right.
yeah, man. For
So
me,
that,
I just need to be on top of these things because I'm scared to be poor.
you know what? It's weird because I think everyone's scared to be poor, but not everyone is on top of those things. Like, it's important we try and stay on top of that and just get used to it. It's always weird how like the idea of trading kind of came about with me because one of my first actual, this is going to sound crazy, one of my first actual like insights into actually trading and what a market is like is probably through FIFA, probably through
Mad.
Ultimate Team.
Same.
Yeah, no, because you see how like you have the buy now prices and you have people put certain auctions. Um, but then we also realize that, the market maybe will be flooded if there's a high demand for something that isn't really, accessible, or, if the demand is quite big, but, there's not much supplied, and, not really that people aren't really gonna, people are gonna actually like queue up for those things, Um, but even just looking at the way, people trade maybe options or futures here, or if you're going into buying stocks now, you actually see there are some similarities with that, which I think is crazy. I think about all the time and it just blows my mind.
Mm. No, for sure, man. I mean, I've got a similar story with FIFA. Like, I must have wanted Ronaldo so bad. I
Oh yeah.
started researching like how supply and demand works, how to price fix Cavani, like.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. I don't think Brian told you. He traded to. He's a nerd. He doesn't want people to know this, but in like in like I can't remember what year this was, but I think FIFA 13, he traded his way to Cristiano Ronaldo. And
Yeah, yeah,
Ronaldo
yeah.
was price fixed at about 1.6 million coins in the time. So if we're going to convert that to UK dollars, no, sorry, UK pounds. Oh my God, UK dollars. My head is spinning. If we're going to convert that to UK pounds, um, that's probably, that's definitely over £100. That's definitely over £100. Maybe even close to 150 just for Ronaldo, like, which is insane.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm, yeah, I remember the way he did it as well. I think he didn't even like, most people will wait for team of the season and like trade for that, but what he did is that he actually like he played, but he didn't play that much. He would actually he'd open some packs, but he'd also like price fix one. He'd buy one player and just basically try to price fix them. And then
Mm.
he found like, his way into like silver players as well, because obviously those ones are more rare, but they have low overall ratings, but maybe they have something like different. Maybe they have different skill levels or different attributes that maybe some of the best players don't even have. Then all of a sudden you see those players, you think they'd go for like 2,000 like coins or whatever, but actually if you look into it, they go for closer to like 20,000 or 30,000, 40,000. And then all of a sudden, if you buy a certain amount of one player and you can sell them up for a certain price, then you make yourself a profit. That's how you go.
Yeah, yeah, it's mad.
It's crazy. I miss FIFA though, because I've not really jumped on it in a while, but Maybe after exams. Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
Yeah.
I just googled it. You can buy coins, obviously illegally, but you can buy coins. 1.5 mil is 175 pounds.
Okay. So okay, the exchange rate's not really changed that much then.
Yeah, it's nuts. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
man.
that
FIFA's
is.
horrible now, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. Yes. I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to play FIFA, I play for the gameplay. I know Ultimate Team is definitely horrible though. Like Ultimate Team sucks ass. Oh my gosh, it
I
is
can't do it.
trash. It's it's just trash. I think there's so much of the game back then that we loved. That I think they really took away. And I think you could really see it kind of coincides with the direction that EA were going in. Especially with FIFA 15 and 16 where you could see it was clear they were trying to sort of push into like that esports market. And I think that's, for me anyway, that's what's really killed FIFA. Because you can see, if you look at the past 5 years alone in the esports market, they've been killed every single time. This was even before Fortnite and Warzone was a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which is insane.
I get that. I think that's backed up further by how they've, like, I would always say they've ruined penalties and free kicks, but I guess their argument is it increases the skill gap. It means more things to master, and of course that time finishing as well. Yeah, they've definitely stepped more into the esports market.
Yeah, no, they have, because I think they've wanted to make it as close to the real thing as possible. But I think when you try and do that, you kind of get rid of the things and kill the things that people really love about the game.
Mm.
And the things that are supposed to bring people closer to the game. Um, and you know, when people look at it, they realize, okay, it's not what I recognize, it's not the game or the product I fell in love with. I'm going to just go do something else. Or just, you know, play this other game. Why play FIFA when I can jump on Call of Duty, jump on Warzone, maybe even jump on on 2K or find or find whatever games on Steam nowadays,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
For me, it's more of an ethical thing, like why I stopped playing FIFA, because I
Mm.
feel like EA know that there's no other football game in the market other than, PES, which isn't really a football game.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
it's like they do everything in their power to milk these kids of their money. Like, it's Ultimate Team buying players is literally gambling at this point. Like, PAX is the
Oh yeah.
biggest scam. And
Uh,
there's no surprise they've introduced these like legendary cards, these birthday cards, these SBC cards, because it's like the
yeah,
more hype they can generate is the more
exactly.
money
The
that
better.
little Johnny siphoning from his mum's credit card, and it's like,
Telling you, it's true. It didn't used to be like this back in the day. Like that is there. Like you can see a lot of other developers have actually followed suit, and I think their games are suffering because of it. Like they'll do it in either the form of maybe loot boxes for certain games, or even add-ons where they say, hey, you can, if you buy this amount, then you get this amount of like content for the game. And it might be set at like an absorbent price, but you just have to have it because there's a chance that when you buy the add-on or if you buy the loot box or buy the pack, then you get something really good. But more time than not, it turns out to be really bad. And then you just think, okay, my luck is up. And then after you spend like £200, you realize your luck is not up and you feel really shit.
mm,
It's a big shame that they went in that direction, in my opinion, because like, back then, I can't remember what the cost of a pack is now, but I think the cost of a pack was it about 600, £700 for one pack? No, 600, 700 coins for one pack. I'm pretty sure it's gone up now. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah,
mm,
they did a lot of nonsense with that.
yeah, it's a
But
shame.
also as well, like the game didn't used to cost as much as it does now. Like I think what the FIFA 20 when it came out was priced at I think just over £60, which I think is insane.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. It's literally
Yeah,
just 19 rehashed.
yeah, no, it is. I think that's really it's bad when these things really the direction that a company goes in can really ruin or fuck with like the creative direction of how they manage certain things or manage certain systems. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if EA, man, but they're making a killing. I'm sure their stock price is up, so that's what they care about.
I mean, you never know, man. Hopefully this year's the year they learn the lesson.
Uh, I, I, I really hope so. I really hope so.
Especially
Cause,
when these seasons aren't being finished. I don't want to buy half a game.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's true. Like, it's actually true. Cause if the season's not finished, it's just like, what are you gonna do? Why are you gonna buy, why are you gonna buy the game if it's not gonna reflect like the real thing? If you play it, you're just living in the fantasy.
That'd be so funny if like if FIFA 21 career mode, you get to January and it's like the league cancelled because of a pandemic.
Trust them to do something like that, though. That's the thing. Trust them to do something like that. And then the season resumes like 2022, 23, and then all of a sudden players are being sold left, right, center, and then you get cut from the job, you gotta find a new club. Oh wow.
That
EA.
was so
Oh,
funny, man.
EA. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah. Oh, crazy. Also, I was watching this video that my dad showed me. I think my dad's so jokes. Like, sent me this video. I think it was to do with how there's a lot of theories that the coronavirus is actually being used as a bioweapon.
Mm,
Yeah. I don't really know what to say to that. Just because they had been dealing with this to our knowledge for as far back as like late November.
yeah.
Yeah. And, they had warnings sent out to certain doctors or to certain government officials. And then before you know it, it really started when, the virus kind of traveled to Italy, and then all of a sudden it kind of spread and ravaged throughout Western Europe. And I think that's when it really started to
Mm.
to get through it. But yeah, don't know what to say to that really. The fact that it's a bioweapon, it's just I can see why people would think that, but I think at the same time there's a lot you have to consider. Like, what would the motives of the government be behind? Like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Like, what reason do they have to unleash a bioweapon on the world?
Yeah, yeah. Especially one that they can't control.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I don't know. As far as conspiracies go, like my only when it comes to
They
Corona,
can't
my
contain it
only
at all. Like,
yeah, my only thing is that the way I see it is the worse a country's affected by COVID is a symbol of how bad or good their government is. Because like
mm,
people say bioweapon this or like 5G that, but we knew it was a thing in China since November, December. Why is it taking up until April now for the UK government still to be like, oh yeah, you're locked down, but you can still go out once a day to exercise or to shop? Like, come on. Like,
okay.
you,
It doesn't
we
make
have
sense.
so much data to show how bad this is. But America's like, you know what? What state is it? Georgia's like completely open. Florida, like open beaches. Like, you can just see how, like, things don't really get bad in the West until a white person dies. And then within a week, it's like, you know what? GDP.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, GDP, GD freaking P. Like, it's
Yeah,
insane.
mad.
You know, it just kind of reminds, just the attitudes as well, I think is what's killing people more than anything, because you can see Western attitudes to something like this were not serious at all, and they weren't as reactive as it should have been. From time where you have, um, the likes of Boris going into hospitals and shaking people's hands, and he eventually catches the virus, to, pastors in churches in the US holding, services and still holding services, and then, all of a sudden it's unfortunate, but they end up, in hospital, and then,
Mm.
laid to rest, which is insane. But I think attitudes to it should have been a lot more, serious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. This is a whole different podcast, but
Yeah, a whole
it's
different
mad.
podcast, whole
It
different
is mad.
podcast. Speaking of which, how are you finding, like, just trying to motivate yourself, with uni and everything, like, in the midst of everything that's going on? Cause I don't know about you, but it's not something that has been easy. Definitely not.
Mm. I'm the same.
Mm.
I've like literally just to get by, I've been doing this podcast
Oh wow,
because
that's great.
work is so hard to do right now. I mean, especially that we have a safety net. It's like,
Mm.
I don't even need to work really. What I've got to do is pass and I'm going to get a 2-1, 2-2. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. But then what I'm trying to do now is appreciate that. Well, not really. It's not even appreciating it, but it's that because I still got a year to go or 2 years to go even. What I learn now is going to matter. It's not like I can scrape through now and then be fine next year. Like
Mm.
going back to what we said before about making the most of the lockdown and stuff. If I bang out now and get a good grade, that means third year when I start in September should be so much easier compared
Oh yeah.
to, if I slack off now, just scrape through and then have to start again. Because especially we do math subjects. Like if you don't do 1+1 every day, you just lose all of that. Like what's big
Exactly.
maths? What are
Exactly.
brackets?
Like exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? And you have to really just try and make the most of the situation because you could get to a point where if you know, hopefully it won't happen, but if you were to get to a point in third year and maybe it didn't go as well as you would have liked, you can at least say to yourself, right, second year, I did well, so this can hold me up and back me up a little bit. So
Mm,
it's not
mm.
as bad as it could have been, you know. Um, but it's been crazy. Like I think I've been really not putting much pressure on myself at all, but I've just been trying to just find ways to get work done, even if it means I'm working at like the craziest times. Like I might like, you know, after this, I probably even might bang out like maybe one of my essays or something. It's a bit mad, but
Mad.
you know, yeah, whatever time, any time is the best time to be honest.
I
Maybe
hate
it's
it.
me, but I don't think I'm the type of person where I can wake up at 7 a.m., eat breakfast, chill, spend time with the family, call my girl. Then when it gets to 9 o'clock, I'm ready. Bish, bash, bosh, boom. Let's get this done. That's not me. That's not me at all. So I kind of have to like just work at whatever time or whenever's the best opportunity to work. Some days I do a good amount. Some days I do nothing at all. But I just kind of take each day as it comes.
That's the way, man.
That is the way. I think especially like as a student, I think my brothers and my sisters always like, oh, like, Ty, always revising. Like, what's happening? Like, well, how come you're always revising? But I'm just thinking, like, it's my final year, and as well at the same time, like, I do have to try in some way, shape, or form. Like, even if it's something I do every day, like, I have to do something at least to help me get by,
Mm.
you know. And it's not. I think as well, like, people don't really deep how hard it is to be motivated right now. Like, when you're, I don't know about you, but when you're at home and when you're eating like 5 times a day, like I am, and just ruining the fridge for everybody, like
Your
all you
health.
want, yes, literally all you want to do, all you want to do is just sit in front of the TV or sit in front of your laptop and watch on Netflix or go and house party with your friends or play some Warzone. Like you don't, like work is not at the forefront of your mind. It's not something you wake up, and say, all right, I'm gonna do this every single day. I'm gonna do this. This is what I set out to achieve. I'm gonna do this. Bish bash boss. Nah. And I think as well because the environment is so different. You don't really see that everyone is really out doing their own thing. People are still doing their own thing, but just when you're inside, it's very different.
Mm.
Very
Mm.
different. And it's not like I can say, hey, I'm just gonna go to a library for like 2 or 3 hours and then get the bus back home, or go to the Costa down the road and just do some work there and relax with like a mocha or something. Like it's different. I've got to work from here. I've got to make the best of the situation.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's tough as well because I know, for a lot of people, they work best in like their uni dorms. They don't really work too well when they're at home. Um,
Mm.
so they kind of need to just find the system that works for them, whether that means that whether that means in that place, they're going to try and find a room where they can kind of slug it out and just do as much as they can, or if they have to just say, look, I need to do work and this isn't going to work, I'm going to try to find time when, just before this pandemic eases, to maybe get back to uni. Maybe I'll get a friend to drive me, or I'll just drive down there and, you know, set up, shop there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tight because I feel like when you're at uni, you have like campuses where you work and home is where you sleep or whatever. And whereas when you're at home, it's like there's no way to create boundaries for your work-life balance. It's like you're in your room, and I don't know how you are. With me, if my bed's there, like my bed's there, I'm not working. And there's no way I can bring myself to, pull out my laptop to do anything other than Netflix if I know, like, I've got bed and heater.
I was telling you, you know how bad it is. In my accommodation, I had a table there, and I actually had a seat where you could actually put work stuff there, and you can actually work and write notes on. Tell me why all of the work that I did, if I was there, was from my bed. Like, it just, and even then, like, that was once in a blue moon, on a good day, if I'm lucky. Like, if my bed is there, I'm just not gonna do anything. I'm gonna just lie down and just chill, or I'm gonna maybe play some video games or do whatever it is that people do when they're on their beds. I don't know.
Trust.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a wrap, man.
it's a big, big rap, but like, anyone who is listening and is finding it hard to do any work now and is just wondering and questioning the point of uni, hold tight and try your best, because everybody asking you and making fun of you for doing work now, when you graduate, is going to be worth it. I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
it's going to be worth it. Speaking of which, it's a shame, man, because I was due to graduate in the summer, and my uni actually started releasing they started communicating dates, and it actually started issuing tickets for some people. So obviously they're gonna start issuing refunds for people now, but it's just a shame because it would have been such a really nice occasion,
Mm.
just to have family there, and it's like it's a crowning moment. Can't really describe it because I've been to a lot of my friends' graduations, and it's nice. It's really nice. Like, it sounds weird because I almost feel like the bridesmaid that's never been married, and then when it's the bridesmaid's turn to get married, there's a pandemic. Oh my God. It's just like, well, that's just my luck.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but there's gonna be, it's not just me in the situation, I know. So, maybe
Trust.
maybe they'll reconvene it, but I said, well, how does that make sense? It's going to be like 1,000 weddings and 1,000 graduations all at the same time. Like, it's just what?
Imagine.
Imagine.
I assume they'll do it because you know how there's a January or most unis have a winter grad ceremony as well. I
Yeah,
thought it's gonna be like that, but nah, it's tight, man.
yeah,
It's very tight.
it's very tight. Because I think even my uni, they do it with the master students too. So it's just like, damn. Because you know how the master students will finish like September and maybe graduate October, November time. It's all going to be a big mess. I'm telling you.
It's
Like,
gonna be some weekend though, or
ah,
weekday,
y-
whatever.
yeah, whenever it's going to happen, it's going to be crazy. It is going to be a lot. Um, but I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the day, because I think with uni as well, like, it's something that's needed. You need to be able to find a way to close out the chapter. Um, because I think for me anyway, for a lot of people, like, uni is something that it can be, it can be it would have been very stressful, but also as well, you want to find a way to close out and remember like the good times. Because, let's face it, there's been a lot of good times. And I think graduation is so good because it's a way that, from what I've seen, is very fitting. Um, and it makes it so that when you look back on uni and you have your graduation right at the end of it, you kind of get to look back on it and say, hey, yeah, there was a silver lining here. Everything I went through was worth it.
Mm.
Because I think if there wasn't a graduation, like, you just look at uni like, well, what the fuck? Like, I literally just got my degree. And I think there's some people that are like that, and it's like, okay, fair play to you. But for me, if I don't have like a ceremony, of some sort, or something to kind of close out the chapter in my life, it doesn't really feel symbolic in a way. Maybe
Mm.
just,
Yeah, no, I get that. I heard once, like, I can't remember the exact quote, but I think it's like when people take time off of work, it takes them 3 months to really adjust to the new normal of being off.
mm,
And you always have that, if it's like a weekend off of work, you're still thinking about the office or about, what Janine said to you that one time. And it's like, it's hard to separate yourself from, your work environment when you're away from work because you're still somewhat in there. And I hear what you mean because like in secondary school you have prom and it's like, okay, I'm a man now. And
Yeah.
then without graduation, I guess you still have that thing where you're still thinking about what Janine said. You need to
Mm,
have that graduation and throwing the cap and being like, all right, I'm done now. I'm going to go home and, start my grad or whatever.
yeah, you do. And
Otherwise, Janine's going to haunt you forever.
exactly. Janine's a bad being. Yeah, but like you need that because if you don't close out and you don't close out that chapter, like it's gonna haunt you. It's gonna be like, well, shit, what do I do now? You
Mm,
know. Um. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, they're finding this really hard to adjust. Um. And they're finding it, and it's so much so that they are really sort of questioning whether like things will ever be the same again. And the answer's simple, like, things are not going to be the same. Things definitely won't be the same, but it's just, how are you going to be able to adjust to that or get to a situation where you are happy with with your situation and you're not kind of looking and thinking, what if, you know?
mm. Yeah, no, that's very true, man.
Yeah. Just just hoping for better days ahead, but at the same time, like, you have to be thankful. Have to be very, 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 very thankful. Oh boy.
Yeah,
'Cause
man.
yeah, never did I think at the start of this year, there'd be a whole pandemic and everything that's happened and everything that's transpired. Never did I think it would happen. No way. Like, you couldn't have called it. Even then, it just takes me back to Wimbledon. Like, they're just geniuses. Like, how did you, they must have had some inside knowledge. How did you predict this? I don't know. Or they would have been around from like, um, from back in the day when they had, where they actually had, similar type of virus to coronavirus in the 50s. I don't even know.
Mm.
It's insane.
Very crazy, man.
Yeah, very crazy. But that's foresight. And I think that's foresight that a lot of businesses will be looking to have now, especially a lot of small businesses, because I think you find that with what's going on now, universal credit numbers are, I, I think they're projected to go in excess of like well over, 10 million very soon. I think they've even passed that now. A lot of small businesses have been hit very hard because of the lack of protection, that the government have been able to offer them, um, where a lot of their workers, like, they have no choice but to furlough staff because, you can't, if you're a small
Exactly.
business,
Yeah.
you can't be paying staff. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I think a lot of small businesses are going to look to try and have that, and are always going to try and be on their toes, from now because, universal credit, applications gone up recently, and like, a lot of small businesses have no choice but to like furlough a lot of staff members, and they're going to be losing a lot of money as it is. So,
Mm.
and with this current government, you can't exactly trust that there's going to be a stable plan in place, um, to get a lot of businesses back to where they were. Like, they're going to be hit hard. It's going to be very similar to what happened, back in 08, 09. It's going to be very similar.
Yeah, man. I think I was reading like 26, 27 million people in America just filed for unemployment. Like, it's very mad out here.
It's very, very mad. And I think, especially one other industry that you can really see that it's gonna probably affect a lot and it's gonna really change the game for is insurance. Because I think a lot of people didn't really realize how much this type of health crisis, can really affect a lot of industries, and a lot claims, obviously spiked, and a lot of these companies, a lot of insurance companies are going to, be paying out in tenfolds. It's very crazy, similar to, what would happen in a recession. But I think as well now you're going to have a lot more companies going to try and cover themselves, because of what's happened, and they're probably going to be on the lookout for like new type of risks or new types of um of factors that could potentially cause them to lose revenue.
Mm.
Yeah, it's insane to me because it reminds me back in 2001 where the United States actually a lot of insurance firms actually took out or came up with policies that involve terrorism. So a company or maybe a firm would be covered in the event of a terrorist incident, um, where maybe employees would have been put at danger, or if the company would have had to cease trading for a little while as a result of the tragedy. I think it's insane because you can see now that people are just finding more and more ways to keep themselves insured and kind of be insured of the unexpected. But they're always going to be kind of on the loop because who knows what like the next big thing could be. 2001 it was terrorism. Now it's a pandemic. Who knows what it could be in 2021, 2022.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that's why we always have to be on the loop. Um, uh, always be in the loop and always be on the lookout for these things because you never know what could hit next. You never know. I mean, one missile that North Korea could send, one missile that North Korea could launch could hit the wrong place, and all of a sudden we have World War III. So
Mm.
things can happen. And I think especially as students, we should try and take upon ourselves to actually be on the lookout for these things, but also like researching and doing the things that yourself and maybe some of my other friends are doing, like trying to be up to date with some of these trends because you never know where it could hit you next. But if you have that foresight and you're able to have that mindset and thinking of the way that people with their rainy day funds will be thinking, when these things happen, you'll be laughing essentially because you prepared for these eventualities and you were proactive. You didn't react to the situation, but you were reactive and you tried your best to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. I guess the main message is just to be proactive and be prepared because you never
Ah,
know what you gotta be ready for.
exactly. Exactly. You, it doesn't matter how young you are. You have to be ready for anything, man. You have to be ready for anything.
Trust me, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'm worried my Wi-Fi's gonna be turned off again. So to wrap up briefly, like to bring it back to university and stuff like that, I got a message about half an hour ago, to be fair, during the podcast. Someone asked me on Instagram. They said they've seen the podcast, blah blah blah, and the question was, what what should they know that they don't already? And I guess the way I interpreted that is, what's one thing that you didn't know going into uni that you wish you did know?
Hmm. Boy, I wish that I knew that I had a choice.
Mm,
And this isn't for me to say that I regret university, because I don't.
yeah.
Um, but I wish I knew that I had a choice and that it would be okay for me to not to do other things. Um, because when you're kind of going through it, it's you also have the pressure of your parents, obviously. But it's also kind of the common thing to do. Maybe it's something that you'll see maybe your friends doing. Um, and you'll see that it's the natural progression. It's just the way things are. Um, and I think sometimes when you're finding it hard, there's not really any motivating factor there, especially from early on. But I think the moment that you realize, okay, you could be doing something else, but you've made that choice to actually be enrolled into your course, at university, and you've decided that, above everything else, this isn't, this is the choice that you made and you made out of like, not under the influence of anyone else. You realize that, okay, this is something I chose to do, so I'm going to be able to give what I can give to it, but I'm also going to be able to do things my way
Mm.
and not feel like you are doing it, for anyone else. because I think sometimes that can be to our detriment as much as we want to be helpful to our family and everything. If you really feel like you're doing this to help out and to be, good in your mum and your dad's books, then and you're doing it because you feel like you don't have any other way to do it, then I think it becomes really hard to motivate yourself afterwards. Especially when you're going through the harder times. So yeah, if I'm gonna sum that up, just remember you have a choice, and remember that you are doing university because it's something that in your hearts of hearts you wanted to do, and that should motivate you to try your best to push through because you want to try and complete something that you have chosen to take on. Like I see this university journey and this course almost like my baby in a way where it's like I've gone through it, but like I've really kind of picked myself up, but also I've been able to try most things I've been able to sort of control in a way because it's something that I wanted to do, not anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, man.
Yeah.
'Cause I do think once you, like, knowing you have a choice and knowing that you're here because you want to be here or because you have to do a certain thing, that's so freeing, man.
Mm.
Like, I'm worried that whenever I start working, I don't want to have to work, like, to pay bills. Because if you have to do something and you haven't really got a choice, it's so much more stressful compared to, like, I can work if I want to, or, like,
It's
just
the
that
worst
freedom
feeling.
is important, man.
It's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling. Like having the freedom of choice and you doing it because you want to do it. Like it's great. Because you know that if you eventually get to something and you feel like you are tired of it, like you can actually go on to something else without having that weight or that burden on your shoulders. It's like, okay, if I leave this thing and, this isn't gonna, I'm not gonna be doing what I was supposed to be doing, or this isn't part of the plan. But you have to realize you have that freedom of choice. And I think it's so freeing when, like you said, you realize you have that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Top answer, man.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a bit of a curveball. I was just thinking, I was like, what would I have learned? Or what would I have told myself when I was 18, when I was, going through university? But yeah, this is what it is. Good question. Very good question.
Love that, man. I might have to change the name to the Curveball Podcast.
Trust me, curveballs only. No straightforward questions. No straightforward answers. Come on. That's the game.
Next time I'll be like, so have you ever cheated on your girlfriend before? Like,
Them ones. Imagine just playing and then there's just minute one. Just a boom, straight away. It's like, well, okay. Yeah. But yeah,
mad, man. But yeah,
it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I
it's
really
been great
enjoyed
having you,
this.
man.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
excited for part 2.
Oh yeah? Cool. Let's do it. Part 2. Best believe I'm bringing the beverages. So talk about that. You know what you have to do.
Love it, man. I'm gonna try and retrain my brain to autocorrect death to respawn.
Yeah, respawn. Oh boy. It's been a pleasure, man. Cool.
It's been great, man.
I don't want to keep you too long. So you go and munch, man.
That's the plan. That's the plan.